What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 75, a little bit of a milestone here, of Snakes and the Fatman. Boom! It's the first video ad in Snakes and the Fatman history. Look at it. Look at it! That right there is the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet. Look at this right here. This is also the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, but it's in a bag. Now this right here is the best coconut chip on the fucking planet. However, it's in a bigger bag. Brick, small bag, bigger bag, whatever. Reptile chip is hands down the best substrate for your reptiles. It's the only substrate I actually use here at the Fat Cave. Why? Because it's the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, and I've been using it for years. And JT Tomlinson, one of my very best good friends, is the president of the company. Want to know something else that JT started? The Reptilution apparel company that gives 100% of the profits it receives back to the reptile community. There's always people and organizations in this hobby in need of some kind of help, and Reptilution is being proactive in giving to USARK, Herb's Family Fund, anybody in the community that experienced some kind of tragedy. JT, Reptile Chip, and Reptilution is there for them. You see anybody else being proactive like this? Let me answer that for you. No, you don't. Head on over to reptilechip.com and pick up a bag, a block, a brick, a box even. They're doing boxes. Boxes of Reptile Chip now. Pick up a Reptilution shirt if you're feeling sexy. A lot of fun stuff. They got it all there. Redline Science, tools, shit scrapers. They got everything. It's a one-stop shop, man. You can buy your reptile shit and clothes, same place. Again, go buy a brick, a bag, box, a shirt, whatever. Just get on it. Reptilechip.com. All right, Sean and the gang powering through 2022. They're going to be in Temple, Texas on April 16th and 17th. Fucking down in Austin, April 23rd and 24th. They're going to be back in Louisiana in Lafayette, June 4th and 5th. Doing the Conroe thing again, June 11th and 12th. I'm definitely going to try and be there for that. Then they're going to be in Longview, Texas on June 25th and 26th. In Slidell, Louisiana on July 23rd and 24th. And they're heading out to Oklahoma on July 30th and July 31st. If you guys got any other questions about attending a herp show, contact Sean and Lori. Sean or Lori. I mean, Lori's a little busy with her new Tipsy Trinket place. But definitely just email them if you need to. and they will get right back to you. Just go to a fucking herp show, man. I mean, I've been telling you for like 3 years now. You gotta go to at least one herp show. It's run like no other fucking reptile show that you've ever seen. Again, check out herpshow.net. Hello, folks. This episode is a long episode, but it's also a fun as fuck episode where one of the biggest dogs in the hobby sits down with one of the other biggest dogs in the hobby, and we just talked shit about recent events, and we don't hold anything back. So we're not going to sugarcoat, we're not going to beep out names. MJ and I are probably a dangerous combination when put together because we just call it like we see it. So this episode definitely ran a little long. Also, I got Reggie from Reggie's Urban Jungle on 15 minutes, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I mean, it's just a fucking cool, badass episode. So we're gonna get the housekeeping out of the way quickly this episode. So what's next on the docket? The market of morphs. If you haven't noticed, Morph Market isn't just for buying and selling anymore. They are the online platform for the herp industry. That's it. Nowhere else. Other little shits are popping up. Fucking, they're just dog shit. Nowhere near Morph Market. In the past 6 months, Morph Market has added 1. The Morphpedia, the herp knowledge base with 500 articles to document community knowledge. 2. The Herps event calendar, with an interactive vendor list and maps for all the events in your area. Look at this. Number 3, a brand new animal manager and dashboard with the ability to track animal clutches, litters, and lineage. More tools to help you plan and track your breeding program are on the way. However, Morph Market is still improving the marketplace. Features coming soon include the ability to purchase animals through the site and manage your orders, which will save you time and raise money for USARK. I was talking to John the other day. I said, listen, if we don't raise money for USARK, what the fuck good are we doing here, right? And then the next day, John showed me a demo of the ability to purchase animals through the site and manage your orders, which will save you time and raise money for USARK. Have I mentioned that all should hail John Layman? They're going to do in search of notifications to follow animals you want when they become available, like the old Leonard Nimoy TV show. I know a lot of you probably don't remember. Leonard Nimoy was Mr. Spock. And they also did a new in search of with Zachary Quinto, who was the new Mr. Spock, and he did in search of also, but fucking, that shit didn't last. Fucking all hail Leonard Nimoy. Redesigns of core pages like the search, index, and store directory are also coming soon. Because Morph Market is not satisfied with being the best, they are advancing the industry. Your membership support is making this happen. If you're not a member, head on over to morphmarket.com and become a member today.
Snakes and the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
right, everybody. Fucking Reggie Johnson is here from Reggie's Urban Jungle. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
Ah, dude, fucking been looking forward to this actually for a while now. You're out in Michigan, right?
Yep, I'm out in Jackson, Michigan, about an hour away from Barcheck.
Ah, okay. Have you been there yet?
I'm slacking, man. I have not, but I'm a teacher and I work another job on the weekend, so kind of tight with time. But I'm definitely planning to make a trip out there with my daughter, get the full experience.
Ah, good. Okay. All right, cool. Well, you know how this works, right? You got 15 minutes on the clock starting now. So where did the name come from?
So it came from my auntie, but actually I wanted to call myself Johnson's Family Reptiles, and she thought Reggie's Urban Jungle was cooler, and she got me the domain name for a website as a Christmas present back in 2014. And I was like, no, make it Johnson's Family Reptiles. And she's like, nope, I'm paying for it. It's going to be Reggie's Urban Jungle. And then it had a little ring to it. I kept it for a year, and then I made the little logo, and she made the right decision. So I think Reggie's Urban Jungle sounds a lot cooler than Johnson Family Reptiles.
It really does. I'm going to give you an 8 on the name because, yeah, your aunt was correct. Okay.
Absolutely.
Reggie's Urban Jungle just does sound cool. Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been breeding and keeping snakes as a hobby for about 12 years. So I started around 2011. And then, but I've always had snakes since like age 4. I was, everybody else collecting them in the backyard, turtles, frogs, garter snakes. So that's where the true passion started.
So you've been doing it for a while.
Oh, yeah. I was always the weird kid. I used to sneak the ball pythons into school in high school, and my principal got tired of me or got tired of telling me stop bringing them. So he just set up a little aquarium in his office so I could just keep them there during passing or during class. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in Michigan, and there's some heavy hitters out there by you. So why should people even consider buying from you?
Because good quality animals. I treat everyone the same. I treat everybody fair. I know how it feels to not be treated fairly in this hobby, but the hobby's gotten way, way better. And I think I'm gonna have some pretty powerful, beautiful things here. Each individual animal is taken care of like it was my pet, and I think I'm a good guy. I treat everybody with respect. Treat them how I want to be treated.
Now, were you a show guy?
I have never vended.
Obviously, pre-COVID.
How I got my name out was I used to go to Tinley, and I would take maybe 300 pictures and just rapid post all of them, tag everybody, give out a couple free shirts. So that's how I really started. Me personally, I don't think I've produced anything, worth of quality to bring to shows yet. I accidentally hit a pastel desert ghost clown, pos head hypo female. But other than that,
Okay. Well, and how many animals do you have right now? How many bulbs?
I would say north of 150 right now.
Oh, you have a lot then. That's a lot. That's a full-time job right there. And you have a full-time job as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher.
Okay. So with 150 snakes, I'm going to ask because I see you got a Freedom Breeder or an ARS rec back there. How much have you put into this versus how much have you gotten out of it in the last 11 years?
So I've revamped my collection at least 2 or 3 times. I finally started taking it serious as a way to work towards making it a full-time job. So in the last 5 years, I would say I've broken even. The previous 7 years, I'm throwing money down the drain.
Okay. And just give me, let's go to last 5 years, number-wise. How much do you think you spent? And include everything, the racks, the food bill, everything.
I would say I've put in at least $75K. Okay. Just food, racks, buying snakes, traveling to, promote and meet new people, to build and gain relationships and all of that. So I'd say about $75K of my own personal money. And within the last 2 years, I think I've sold enough to come close to breaking even.
Okay. Well, that's encouraging to a lot of people that do this because, I mean, you know how it is. You've met that guy. It's like I spent
Absolutely.
$200,000 and I made $600 back this year. You know.
Right.
So now, and you've been an animal keeper for a while now, right? Because you've done some shit, right?
Yeah, I used to work for the Tiger King Joe Exotic back in 2011. I worked for him for a few years, so that's part of the reason I'm on the wrong side. The logo got the lion on there because I used to train exotic big cats.
Jesus. Okay. So you're hardcore. So what subject do you teach in high school now?
Math and science, algebra and earth science.
Oh, okay. So at least you have the option to bring some of that animal stuff into
Yep,
what you
I
teach.
brought my alligator to my classroom pre-COVID. Kept it there for about 2 weeks. Kind of messed up everyone's schedule because I had the entire school floating in and out the classroom.
Why do like everybody in Michigan has to have a fucking alligator, man? What
So
what's going on with that?
mine was a rescue. I had a friend who owns a business. He bought it maybe like 9 years ago. Doing the best he could, but it just didn't have the care it needed. So it was stunted growth. So when I got it, it was about half the size it should have been. I got it on the Missouri crocodilian diet, put it in a larger enclosure, warmed up the temperatures, and then he like quadrupled in size. So he's roughly about 9.5 feet long now, and he's with my friend in Belleville who does animal shows. He's sitting on about 40 acres, so a little more happy out there.
Right. Holy fuck. Okay. Now, let's talk some sponsors here. Have you ever bought a snake from Justin?
Yes.
Okay. What did you buy from Justin?
I just bought a leopard clown male, and he
Okay.
that male last year sired 12 clutches for me, so definitely got my money's worth.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's fucking cool. Justin does not say fuck you to Reggie Johnson then. Do you have any sea serpent racks in your house?
I do. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of them.
Chris Nettles does not say fuck you to Reggie Johnson. That's fucking awesome. Do you have a focus cubed habitat cage in your house?
I do not because I'm solely ball pythons, but I am looking into getting some monitors. So
Okay, so focus cubed potentially gives Reggie Johnson a fuck you. Have you ever been to a herp show?
no, I'm
Well,
slacking.
Sean Gray definitely gives Reggie Johnson a fuck you.
Pre-COVID or 2019, I was supposed to hit all the shows, and then that kind of shut it down. And now that we're starting to get back in rolling, I'm about to make some trips.
Well, I'm positive Sean Gray will retract his fuck you once he sees you at a herp show.
For sure.
Let's see. Do you keep anything else? Have you ever bought a snake from Bow Affliction?
I have not, but I do keep elephant trunk snakes. Majority of them are wild caught or captive born from wild imported, but it's a difficult species to keep. You gotta have a aquarium hand to go along with reptile hand, but it's a pretty unique species. So right now I'm trying to, learn more about it as I go.
Well, that's definitely interesting, but Kenny from Bow Affliction gives you a fuck you as well. Okay. Have you? Well, I've seen your logo, and it doesn't look like a Blake Stewart designed logo. So you didn't use Blake Stewart to design your logo. So Blake Stewart gives you a fuck you. Morph Market. Do you use Morph Market?
Every day is probably worse than crack, man. It's an addiction.
That John Layman is good at writing that addictive code, man. John Layman does not give Reggie Johnson a fuck you as he's fucking Chappelle scratching his fucking neck there. Fucking nice. Okay, so you did pretty good with that. Now talk to me about why and when you thought to yourself, man, ball pythons could definitely increase my income a little bit. Like, are you doing it for the money? Are you doing it for the love of the animal, or is it a little bit of both?
So I tell people all the time, even if I wasn't making a return on my investments with these animals, I would still keep at least 50 plus snakes because I've always had them. I actually got started because I accidentally had a clutch of eggs like a rookie. I had 3 snakes together, randomly popped up with some eggs, Googled how to incubate ball python eggs, saw a pied and albino, and I was hooked from there. And I was like, I just been buying $80 normals for no fucking reason. And I could have been buying, I could have been buying all these morphs. So I was like, to hell with the normals. And, went out and bought a spider, Mojave, and albino male. Like, yes, I'm going to breed it to my normals and be rich. And then one season of that, like, no, if you're in it for the money, it's not going to work. So then my passion went back to individually caring for each individual animal. And then that's when the fruits of my labor took off. And ever since then, I've been hooked. So.
Right. So you would say that is it a substantial addition to your income every year, or is it just
I would say it is, but you have to be passionate because, like you said, it is another full-time job with the amount of animals that I have. And if it's not something you would do if you weren't getting paid, I don't think it's for people who are just in it for the money, because you're not going to have the same care and the animals aren't going to have the same quality of life putting in as you would a pet. So
that would be a great answer to anybody that asks the question. Like if you wouldn't do it for no pay at all, then just don't do it, because so many people, like, could you imagine how many phantoms are produced every year that just get put in the freezer because they know it's a fucking, that they don't have access to wholesale people, or the wholesale people don't even want it, and it becomes cobra food or anything like that. Just the amount of ball pythons in the country right now that probably get killed right after they're born because they're not worth anything is probably a lot.
I have a lot of my coworkers. They see me, like, a lot of my coworkers follow me on social media, and they ask about the money aspect, and I tell them about it, because a lot of them are entrepreneurs and have side businesses themselves, and they're always like, well, if I give you 10 grand, what can I make happen? I can't make anything happen for you, because one, you're not going to take money out of my pocket, and two, you're in it solely for the money, and I'm in it for the animals and the enjoyment of opening these tubs every day and seeing the live art that I'm creating or buying from other people in the hobby. And if you're in it for the money, you're only going to see the animals as an investment. And when you're working with live animals, it's no guarantee that they're going to give you a clutch. It's no guarantee that they're going to breed. It's no guarantee that you're going to get a return on your investment. I could spend that $10,000 on one snake, and that snake died 3 months after I get it. And now you're SOL out of 10 grand, and you're mad at me like I gypped you. So I normally don't take loans or investments from people outside of the hobby that aren't as passionate as I am. And even people that are, I still don't, because again, if you're in it solely for the money, then 9 times out of 10 things aren't going to go right for you. But it is
it's like going to the casino and needing to win money.
Exactly.
And you never win money when you need it, and the thing I tell people all the time is, like, imagine they're live animals, man. Like, you can't force a live animal to do anything that you want when you want. I mean, you could do certain things to
help
to help along the process, but you can't. Like, imagine like these people at zoos, if they had like a fucking panda, and they were dependent on the 2 pandas fucking in order to make money the next year. You never do that. And a panda probably costs a lot more than the most expensive fucking ball python.
Well, fun fact, all pandas are on loan from Asia.
Oh, there you go. So fucking it right. So you can't really tell the panda what to do, right? So fucking it's the same with these ball pythons. And I think that the successful people have always done it because they love it. Yep. And the people that bitch about it on Facebook and Instagram are the people that do it with the intention of making the money. And you just look at them and they're not going to be around in 3 years or whatever.
Because you can breed them, feed them, house them correctly and everything, and still not get a clutch for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And the animals just aren't ready. Or you can do everything wrong and they breed in 6 months. So like you don't know.
Well, and let alone breed and get Justin type odds.
Exactly.
I mean,
the planning that goes into that, it's like we see the outcome, but we don't see the 7-10 years prior where he made the double visual double head to the quad head, and then he has 5 or 6 of that same pairing going on, so he increases his odds and all that. So people like that actually, like, it's a science to it. And it's a beautiful thing when it comes to fruition.
Oh yeah, I remember when we were doing it, we were like, well, this clutch could either be worth 10 grand or it could be worth $400. And
Exactly.
fucking and the majority of our luck was that $400. I mean, we were crushing it at $400 clutches. All right,
Right. Well,
we were
like I
just
said,
killing it.
my triple head, I accidentally hit my pastel DG clown female on a pair of POS triple heads.
Yeah,
So
see,
that could have
that's
easily
insane.
been $100 clutch, and then I hit the pastel DG clown and hit a super pastel hypo
Right.
clown. So like it went from 0 to a lot real quick. So sometimes odds are in your favor for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Sometime. Fuck. Well, your time's up. Sorry about that. But you're right about that. You're right about where you know when you don't expect it and you get something like that. I mean, it literally makes your year.
Oh, that's what makes it fun. It's like gambling. You're
Yeah.
gambling with genetics.
Exactly. All right. So Reggie, how could people get in touch with you?
Reggie's Urban Jungle on everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm most active on Instagram. TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. But everything at Reggie's Urban Jungle.
Fucking cool, man. Thank you for taking the time, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, I've been wanting to have you on for a while. So thank you for just coming on and hanging out and not thinking that you're above 15 minutes of lame like people that have been doing it for 11 years fucking should be.
I mean, when you hit me up, I was ecstatic, man. So it's a lame, cool, whatever you want to call it. It's just an opportunity that you even know who I am, to be honest. So I appreciate you for giving me the chance to be on here and speak my 15 minutes of lame.
Ah, man, for fucking love it, man. I just you've been a guy that I've been wanting on for a while. We actually talked last year, I think, when we initially started, and then shit just kind of got out of control. But all right, brother. Well, thank you again, and we will talk soon, and this will be out on April 15th. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
All right, I have a couple of questions for anyone trying to run a business in the reptile industry. Do you ever feel like you're held back by a dated or detailed image? Are you sick of competing on price or convincing people to buy your fucking animals? Are you ready for a change but not sure where to start? Stewart Design guides ambitious companies to discover and share their meaningful difference and empowers them to reach their greatest potential. If you've been listening to me for a while, you probably know my man Blake Stewart at Stewart Design. If not, I'm certain you've seen the waves they're making within the industry. They've worked with the biggest and baddest players in the game. Stewart Design rebranded ball python extraordinaire Justin Kabilka over at Canova. They also created the brands for Amos Reptiles, my boy Zach Nava, Garrett Hartle with Reach Out Reptiles, as well as many, many more. Not to mention the rebranding and all the work that Blake has donated to USARK just because of his love for the industry. Stewart Design helps take that dumpster fire shit of a logo you drew in Microsoft Word to a whole new level. Get your big boy pants on because this isn't a game. There are literally thousands of breeders and more coming out every day. So how the fuck will you stand out at Tinley or on Morph Market or at Daytona? Why should anyone buy anything from you when there are literally thousands of other dickheads out there selling the same stuff? If you want to run a real business and not some part-time fucking hobby, you have to stand out and look the goddamn part. If you give a shit about your business and want other people to give a shit about it, get a hold of Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. Stewart Design is a professional branding agency. Just check out their website to see the list of major national and international awards that they've won. And besides creating kick-ass logos, Stewart Design also designs and prints everything you need to crush your next show, so you don't look like another fucking reject. Business cards, stickers, flyers, table covers, banners, you name it, they got it. Visit sdidentity.com or email info@sdidentity.com to learn more. That's info@sdidentity.com to get started. I'm not even going to give this interview an intro. If you're not following MJ on Trap Talk with MJ on YouTube, you will be following MJ on Trap Talk with MJ on YouTube after this interview. Here's my one-on-one with MJ. All right, everybody. I mean, look at this. I mean, really, the last time was so nice we had to do it twice. Mr. Michael Juarez, MJ from Trap Talk. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I think you're the only guy who has that kind of validation to call me by my government name, and I find it with respect. Thank you, I appreciate that. What is going on, my man?
That's that's how I meant it, dude. I mean, I've been excited for this one because, I mean, you want to talk about an honest, no bullshit show. I mean, that's what we had last time. I got a feeling that's what we're gonna have this time. Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, these are two people that don't sugarcoat at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Sure. I mean, I was excited enough about this to write shit down.
Awesome.
So, given what's going on right now, what would you say is your favorite thing about this hobby and doing this? Because you've been doing this a while now. You're generally a positive guy, right? So
generally,
yeah, generally. But what? And I'm definitely going somewhere with this question. But what's the most positive you think thing that this hobby has to offer?
I feel like, for me personally, the biggest positivity of this hobby as a whole is it changes you as a person. I don't ever see it for the bad, or maybe it makes you figure out that you're not meant for certain things, but I have grown in so many ways because of this hobby. And I think it's because of a lot of people I've met. I'm not going to lie. I've met a lot of people in this industry who've kind of inspired me and just made me, feel the way I feel to this day. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Because of the great luck I feel like I've had with the people I've connected to, I kind of stick to that and thinking of that and try not to think of the negative, even though it's easy to think of negative shit, because you got people out there that live for it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's, this hobby connected me with you, which I didn't even think this would ever happen. I do want to say, first and foremost, before we continue, thank you for having me on such a legendary show. This is an honor. You got people who fucking fake contests to try to come on this show, and here I am, fucking, just without having to, hurt nobody's feelings. Maybe I am hurting some people's feelings, but we'll see.
Oh, we're definitely going to hurt some feelings by the end of this. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. First of all, I agree with you. All right, I agree with you that the people are the most, the hittest part about this whole hobby, because you meet people that change your lives. Change your life.
Yeah.
But they're few and far between, right? I mean, because those are the top 20%. Where the bottom 80% will drive you to fucking drink again and do drugs, and they'll aggravate Christ off the cross. It's like they're just the worst people around. Yeah. But the top 20 keep you coming back, for everything. And that's what I think matters. And now, what do you think is the absolute worst thing about this hobby? And I know that you normally don't dwell there, but I know that you've got some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, it's easy for me to dwell there. I could tell you that much, and I try not to. Lately, I mean, there's been a few podcasts this year where I had a rant and speak heavy on some facts that are what you're talking about, the negative side of the hobby. And the thing that really grinds my gear here, Chris, is the leaders of the industry, quote unquote. When I say by leaders, Instagram, YouTube, social media platform leaders being the most biggest piece of shits in the hobby. You know what I'm saying? And instead of them kind of doing things to kind of make the whole hobby look better and kind of help us get on the right foot, it's very selfish. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to make my money. This is my content. You could hate me all you want, and that's it. They don't give a fuck. And that's the dark side of this hobby. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like how we don't have big chains like Petco and PetSmart who want to support US Arc and don't have anything to do with anything with what the hobbyists have to say or whatnot, and that's because of the money. And these fucking YouTubers, man, they make so much money where they're on that level. They don't give a fuck. They don't give two shits, and it's hurtful, because I'm starting to see this more and more. And I can't say this about every YouTuber, but 9 out of 10. Like, let's be real. They don't give a
right. Well, I mean, obviously, you're talking about like the Jay Brewers and the fucking Tyler Nolans, and but on the flip side, you're actually friends with Barcheck, who does a lot of that too.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing with Barcheck. The reason why I have a close relationship with Barcheck is because Barcheck was one of the people. Obviously, Barcheck got me into the whole idea of wanting to do this to begin with. Like, I do give him props to that, but so did Jay Brewer. You know what I'm saying? So did other people that I thought that were my heroes at one point into this,
Right.
and then there was a point where I got to meet Jay. There was a point where I got to meet, obviously Brian Barcheck and whatnot. And you don't understand the stories and everything I heard about these people before I met them. And I'm somebody to where, like, all right, I'll hear what I have to hear, but I'll let kind of, I want to be an experience on that. I want to see it myself. I want to see if this guy's really a big piece of shit. And Barcheck has not proven himself. I've heard stories and stuff like that. And I will say that Barcheck, I don't know, man. Like, listen, at the end of the day, when I said 9 out of 10, I want to consider him that one-off that right. I feel that is riding the line, because he isn't doing anything extreme, like cutting his animals open or like going, like Barcheck is doing what he has to do to keep his channel relevant, but it's not the extreme of fucking exposing his animals that are sick or doing something extravagant. Yeah, he talks about money, but I like that part. That influences me. Yeah. That influences me. And some people don't like that he took RJ to PetSmart and that. But at the end of the day, like, come on, like, yeah, that is extreme, but like, why? Like, I mean, I don't know. I thought that right there, if that was coordinated correctly, I thought that would be cool. But I know how some people could see it, so it's hard to say. Like, it's like it's very touchy. Barcheck is somebody who rides that line, and he's my boy because he hasn't done anything as far as like where I've seen that he's a piece of shit to the hobby. No matter what his past is, I have a past. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna judge him what he did pre. Me knowing him, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I love Barcheck to death, but I could tell you one thing. I don't want nothing against him. I could tell him this to his face too, but his influencers are YouTubers. He looks up to big YouTubers. Yeah. And big YouTubers are sensational. They're like his boy is I'm not gonna say his boy, but he's in good contact with Mr. Beast. Right. Mr. Beast is he's a billionaire YouTuber at the age of 20 something. I don't know how, but he's billionaire off YouTube. And that's Brian's close contact. And dude, I don't know what his vision is. Who knows? I don't know. And right. that does scare me. But at the end of the day, I do like Brian, and we'll see what happens. I just don't know the future, Chris. I don't know. It is scary. I'll tell you that much.
No, I will tell you this too. Barcheck has always been a gentleman to me. Always. He came on the show a couple of times when I met him in person. When he used to do the shows, always a total gentleman. But more important is the people that I know that know him tell me the same thing. They say that listen, he's a great guy. He does this, and that. He's really like the guy that you see on the videos, right? And even though he does things that I don't agree with, like I don't agree that him bringing a fucking alligator into PetSmart is a good idea, that he's probably done a little bit of preparation for that before he took the fucking alligator into Petco.
Well,
He didn't.
you got to think so, because I mean, imagine, like, let's just say, what if like that was a random act and something did happen where RJ
Right.
flipped out? Like, what would happen? Brian's not that, he's not an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's exactly what I'm saying. And the more important part I think about Barczyk is that if you ask a 9-year-old kid that's looking at a bearded dragon in Petco who Barczyk is, they're going to know who he is. And I don't give a fuck what he's done in the past. I really don't. I'm kind of on your level there. I don't care what he's done. He has never done anything to me that's affected me in a negative way. As a matter of fact, he's always been, very cool with me. The other guys, I think that they're really, they're kind of pushing the line in a backwards direction. Where I think when somebody that doesn't know Reptile sees a 20-foot retic biting Jay in the face, I just don't think that that's good for the hobby. I don't think when Tyler Nolan is handling cobras, in his house, and then he gets bit, I don't think that that's good for the hobby. I mean, I think that this is so close to getting shut down that anybody that is willingly bringing a negative light to it is kind of fucked up.
well, I mean, here's the thing. That could be so true to where I feel like certain people don't give a fuck what happens. They're going to drain the shit out of this to where if they burn down, everyone burns down. And
Right.
and I'm talking about people who've been in this for years and they don't care at this point. And you have people like myself who's not even 5 years into this, who still has all this energy. And I'm like, imagine Jay Brewer in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's I'm not saying I'm going to be a Jay Brewer, not even a little bit. That's not my goal. I'm just saying, like, imagine his energy where he was, and now he's in a place where he's evolved quite a bit, and he's gotten where he's at because the people that he has or had working for him, he's had people to help him with this social media platform, but he's created such a big following and such a big persona that you can't keep up with it forever. And he's trying to, and he's doing everything he can. He's putting out as much content. He's doing as much as collaborations, doesn't care. I heard some shady shit he just did to Barczyk. I'm not going to get into details, but like, I went to Barczyk I had a podcast with Barczyk and Bruce, and I wanted to kind of dip into like, hey, like, how do you feel about having someone who basically represents what you do be a big piece of shit? Like, right. I'm just curious. And AKA Jay, like, how do you feel about backing up Jay? And Brian spoke with, as far as like, it's not that, at the end of the day, he's happy that Jay's around, because guess what Jay does? Jay makes Brian look good.
Look, somebody better. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why I am the way I am, because I am that had people in my ear about both guys telling me don't be relationships with any of these guys. And I'm like, what? Like, okay. And then 1 out of 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, one proved to show that the truth behind that. And Barczyk, I don't see anything of what people accuse him to be or anything else. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. And like he's only showed me nothing but support, love, and he's only inspired me to this day. And I just know what he does isn't easy. Like, the guy's life, but he chooses to be that YouTuber / reptile enthusiast. Like, it's just a crazy world, bro. It's I don't know.
I knew Jay 20 years ago. He was probably in his 40s back then, right?
Right.
But he still had to be the loudest guy in the room. He still had to be, and the Prehistoric Pets was probably a quarter of the size that it is now, So, that was back in 2002, 2001. But he was always fucking annoying. But I could understand why, especially with the pandemic and all that, you weren't open. You had to shut down. You had to figure out a way to make money. But this is Jay really is trying, and I don't think that he's hitting the ball half as far as Barczyk is.
Well, here's the thing. My relationship changed my view, like my how I look at Jay as a keeper and what he does as a person, because I don't really know how he is outside of the hobby. But you got to think, if you're doing as much as he is, your whole life is that. That should be your whole, like, I mean, what else do you do, right? But all I got to say is everything switched on him the day I left his facility, which was a whole year before COVID. So, I mean, I don't, a lot of people have COVID to be like, yeah, things, I had to switch up things because of this, because of that. But this man has had to switch things up for years and he hasn't. And I'm talking about his breeding practices, that damn breeding facility that he has in the back room, him showing animals with RI and bubbles coming out their fucking mouths. It's just really bad. You know what I'm saying?
It was always like that. Even back in the early 2000s, the place was a shit wreck.
And that's like, I mean, and what is that? I mean, here's the thing too, Chris, like that was okay back then. Like people could get away with being literally pieces of shit reptile keepers because really, who's going to really say anything? There was no social media. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when you get away with like low, like meaning his overhead keeping was so low and he wanted to keep it that way, that he never wanted to make a better living situation for his animals. He doesn't give a fuck. He wants to make more money to do whatever else he wants to do with that shit. Right. All I can see is like, you see what Barczyk does with his money because he keeps expanding. He keeps adding stuff. It keeps getting better. What is Jay Brewer doing with all his money? You go to his place and it's still prehistoric death. It's still the same fucking layout it was 5-6 years ago. It still smells. I mean, it hasn't changed. Like, what are you doing? So
well, he's traveling all over the world to.
You don't think that's paid for? You don't think that's paid for, bro? Come on, like I know how sponsorships work. I'm not an idiot. Like this, I'm just saying, like I see a dark side to this guy now. And I see in the dark side is money. That's just my insight. That's how I'm gonna play it until he proves otherwise.
Right. Yep.
Yep. I mean, like I said, you're talking about the positive thing about this hobby, and I will say the biggest positive thing is how I'm lucky enough to be around such beautiful animals that make me want to do better by them. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe in almost everyday water changes. I know it's not practical as far as like not everyone could change 200-400 snake water bowl every day, and I get that, but I try to make sure they have fresh water every day because that's just something that I like to do. It's I don't give a fuck if it's not an industry standard. To me, that's my standard, and that's how I want to do things. That's something how I feel like we can all evolve. We don't all have to sit down and be like, all right, we're new into this. We're going to go ahead and give every snake a 90 degree hot spot, no matter where you live. We're going to go ahead and fucking do water changes once every 7 days. We're going to feed this fucking size rat it's like all these damn quote unquote industries, like these quote unquote, like, what was I talking about? Not industries, fucking like things that you should do when you first come into something.
Right. Common practices. Yeah.
Common practices are not, it's all different, bro. Like it's, you know what I mean?
Well, I agree with that. Like, could you fucking imagine if that when somebody had a baby, they walked up to the mother and said, this is a care sheet that's 2 pages long, and this is what you have to raise your baby as. Like, you would think that the doctor was fucking crazy, right? So everybody has to do their own thing and learn their own thing. I think the problem these days is nobody's taking the time to learn, and everybody's trying to copy. That's more what it is.
You said it, bro. Oh my God. People literally want to copy the other man's practice that makes him successful in his building. You know what's making me, I'm not even saying I'm successful, but you know what's making me at a point where things are becoming like clockwork is my fucking goddamn 4 years of just watching and just learning and seeing what happens every year. And you just have to wait. I've been clueless the last 3.5 years, 4 years. I'm still clueless, I feel like, but like, that's the whole point. The experience is the best part of this instead of just copying somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but people don't look at it. I mean, there's no patience anymore, right? There's no.
Yeah.
I mean that's been gone for a while. That's pretty much been gone since the since the everybody gets a trophy days. So it's what happens. Now, what are a couple of pet peeves of yours that you just that make you roll your eyes, that get on your nerves, and it's not enough to throw somebody under the bus, but it's enough to be like, dude, what the fuck, man?
I can't stand fake love. I cannot stand fake fucking love and people who just Like, listen, I love my trappers, man. And what I mean is people who keep me informed with things, and it's a lot less now, but back in the day, there were a lot of people talking on Facebook groups and they would name drop me, and I can't help it. People screenshot and show me shit. Like you know what I mean? And the thing is, now I get a lot better of just keeping it to myself. And that's what I do. I keep a lot of shit to myself now. And because it does me no good. If I blast anybody, it does more for them than it does for me. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to show that person no more love. So, but that being said, I know who these people are, and the way they are to me in person, it's just like, it just shows me what kind of, like, how many people out there are fake, and they live with being this kind of fake their entire lives, either at their 9 to 5. And this is why I left corporate America, because the way you get moved up in corporate America is mastering being fake. And I was not mastered. I did not know how to keep it, like, I had to keep it real. Like, no matter what the situation was, if somebody was wrong, you're fucking wrong. I don't care who you are. And you just can't do that in corporate America. You got to know when to talk. You got to know when to read the room and all this shit, especially the more you move up. And I can't stand that. It's not meant for me. And it is kind of like that in this industry with the higher up people. What I mean is, like, the breeders who are really, really big, because you hear stories on the back end of, either them getting something or a deal gone south, and that person just rather not put that person out there, blast them because who they are. And right. I feel like that needs a change. I'm like, if there's something, a business gone wrong, and that person doesn't want to take care of it, you need to address it, because it's business. Like, it's, and it's regarding an animal. How are you going to be shady on an animal sale? You see what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, that happens all the time.
It does. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the almost like the 10-4 of this fucking hobby, of people doing shady ass shit and making money on that end of it.
Well, I mean, not to bring up the obvious elephant in the room, but that's happening now with Bob Clark, right? Like, fucking,
yeah. I mean,
he's getting called out on some shit, and what I really think is that it's there was an easy way to get this fixed. There was an easy way to just say, listen, I'm going to refund you all of your money. I'm going to pay for the tests that were run, so you're not out anything. I'm going to take care of that. And, I'm going to look into, getting my animals tested. This is Bob Clark. This isn't some schmuck that spent, his life savings of $5,000 and doesn't have any money left. This is Bob fucking Clark. He has money to pull from to have done this right. But he's really kind of being a dick about this whole thing. And I think that it's going to come back and bite him in the ass, because a simple business decision would have been, hey, if I take care of this, it won't last the amount of time it's lasted, because I see this going on for the next couple of months, really, to be honest with you.
I mean, I see it going a couple different ways. And I know it's one or the other. And I feel what that is, Chris, is to go back to what we were talking about earlier, how people been in this for so long and they know shit's as bad as it is, that they don't give a fuck what they do, what happens, and what are you going to do? Do something about it, type of thing. You know what I mean? If they go down, you go down, type of thing.
Right.
That's one end of it, right? Or it could be another end of this spectrum where, I don't know, based off what I'm hearing, I didn't only hear from you, but multiple other people have come to me and said, hey, have you heard this podcast? This lady, she's threatening this guy to go to PETA. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What kind of lady does that tell you she is to the get-go? Like, I mean, to like, I understand everyone listen, first off, fucking Karen, you're not the only lady to get fucked over on a snake sale. Okay. You're not the only lady to get a snake with mites, and you're not the only lady to get a snake to get IBD, if that's the case. Okay. Underground Reptiles, ever heard of them? They fucking ship nothing but snakes that have IBD. Okay. And people have tried to report them and nothing happens. Okay. It's common. It's like getting a snake with Nido or something. I'm not saying it's common. Let me take that back. People do not commonly ship snakes with IBD, but it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
It happens. Right. So Bob Clark being Bob Clark on who he is, who knows? There's two sides of every fucking story. Who knows? Let's see what Bob has to say. If Bob maybe tries to touch on it, and that kind of shows that, I don't know, that he has nothing to hide, but at the end of the end, if he fucking says pass, What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that if he rather not talk about it because he doesn't care. So that shows you the colors of Bob Clark.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't go fucking sucking people's dick who don't care about what we love. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm not gonna say if that's the case, I'm gonna say, oh, fuck Bob Clark. No, that's just who he is. He's just one of those guys. What are you gonna do?
Well, that's the whole thing. Is like I when I started reading this, and first of all, I hate those fucking Facebook groups. Right? I mean,
I can despise them.
They're just fucking worse. They're literally a bunch of non-contributing zeros fucking talking shit who are going to be gone in 3 years, right? So
but they know it all. But the thing is, their knowledge is so powerful.
Yeah. Well, one guy kept a ball python alive for a month and a half, so of course he's knowledgeable. Of course he knows how to.
Right. A lot of YouTube videos, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But I was on her side for 90% of an interview that I saw with her this morning. And she just ruined it for me the last 10% of the interview, where she started talking about how she's going to go to PETA, and she started talking about Bob Clark fucked with the wrong bitch. And she just sounded like a typical fucking millennial douchebag that, imagine going to PETA going to Bob Clark's place, and if this is all true, shuts down Bob Clark's place. If you don't think that PETA has the money to pay a lobbyist to get laws passed, then you're out of your fucking mind. And imagine if this chick, who's not even a breeder, is the tipping point for the fucking death of the hobby. I mean, that's going to kill people, so, and the chick don't care. You could obviously see that she doesn't care about the actual industry or the hobby. She cares about getting revenge on Bob Clark, and that's fine. I met women like that. Okay, so that's what they do. But fucking, it's really going to be. This isn't going to come out good for either one of them, and I think the hobby will take a hit as a whole if either one of them get away with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just never know who the hell you're going to piss off or who you're going to fuck over.
Yeah.
And they could go either somebody who might report you to PETA, which is pretty fucking, you might not really love animals if that's the case. If you were to do that, really, then you have some weird fucked up intentions to begin with. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad this snake died on you. I don't think you should have a snake. I don't. If you're like that. So fuck you, lady. That's all I got to say. But at the end of the day, you could piss off a batshit fucking mentally unstable lady like that, or you could piss off somebody who eventually won't say nothing, see you in person, and just deck the shit out of you. Which I feel like would happen a lot more. I wish people would knock people out more, because I feel like everyone who got their ass kicked when I grew up kept their mouth shut after a while.
Right.
Even I learned. I have a big mouth, but there was a time from 6th grade to 9th grade when I was able to actually fuck people up. I learned to shut up a little bit because I got my shit rocked. I got rocked. I learned, even in football and stuff like that, I learned not to just keep my mouth shut around big people if I couldn't back it up. And everyone is just so comfortable with what they have to say.
Well, that's the whole thing about like fighting, right? Like I miss fighting too, to a point, because whether, at the end of the day, whether you get your ass kicked or you kick somebody's ass, it literally builds the same amount of character, so fucking. I miss the days where people would actually throw down. But right now, the majority of people on Instagram and fucking TikTok have never been in a fight in their fucking lives. So, the only way they know how to fight is to do shit like this.
If it's one thing I know like that could really ruin with what I have going on, is if I physically harm somebody. I already know that's, and trust me, like I have a game plan behind all that. Luckily, like I said, nobody that has either threatened me or talked as tough as they do, they don't bring that energy in person. I'm telling you, it's way different. And like the first year of going to shows, I was on edge because I thought, all right, this is gonna be it where I fight somebody, and it never happens, And like I'm not gonna ever have my guard down. Get me wrong, but like I literally have. I'm not gonna say I have security, but I do have people that are always around me to make sure I don't mess up and I don't do anything wrong, because I'm going to say, as much as I believe in getting your ass beat and fucking, standing up for yourself, it's just not the way no more. It's not, it's kind of not saying like how we can't call each other fags and gay and gays. And like, as much as I have homies that are gay that I call fags kidding around, you see what I'm saying? The overall, it's just not good to say, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that. But you know, it's just, I'm just not, I'm not easy. I'm sorry. I'm not brought up in an era where, you know, I don't know how to say it, but to be this soft, and expect something that you did nothing for, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, so many people feel entitled, and even people who just start podcasts and shit, like, you know, like, they expect people to go watch there and view, like, where they didn't know I spent the first 2 months with 5-10 viewers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I never bitched and complained. I just do this just for the sake of it. Like, because it keeps my mind busy off the snakes when I'm not, you know, when I'm not working with them and stuff like that. Like, it's just, I have so many reasons why I do this other than wanting a following and clout. I could tell you that right now. That's the last thing I could tell you that.
I could give two shits about the following. I mean, I do this because it's fun and it makes people laugh, right? So fucking,
right.
You know, I love when people like, oh, you're doing a hot chick episode for the views. I'm like, bitch, like, I got a job.
That's a good idea. That's honestly, bro. I thought that was such a fucking pimp. Okay, well, I don't mean to say pimp, but
no, you can pimp, right?
But because okay, I try. I know there's a lot of girls out there that are just as passionate as the men are in the hobby, right? And just as many girls that are as good at breeding as guys, right? They don't get enough love. For you to do that and bring that many women together, I thought that was, I mean, that's revolutionary for Reptile podcasters. Nobody else has done that.
Oh, it's funny the amount of hate that I got last year, where they were just, you know, calling me a misogynistic fuckhead, and you know, but you know, I don't give a shit about that because I'm doing 2 more this year. Okay, so
good for you.
And we're gonna do a hot guys episode too. So I think you know, we gotta make it happen, man. You got to make it happen for everybody.
You should do it like the ugliest guys, though. I'm just saying,
dude. All the guys are ugly as fuck in this business, right? So you know, that's going to be easy.
Oh man, that'd be
we had a thing on the Zoom call, you know, about which breeder in the industry would you fuck, and you'd be surprised, right? So that's all I'm saying. But I understand what you say about fake love, because you know, the amount of people that I am well aware of that talk shit about me are so nice to me when they want something, or they fucking see me at a show, or you know, it's actually not a bad thing, but it is pretty funny. And at the end of the day, you know, I talk all this shit. I don't want to fight. I'm fucking 50 years old, man. I don't want to fucking fight. You know, like that's, you know, ridiculous. But it is, you know, an interesting thing to talk about. Now, you've been doing like fucking 4 shows a week, right? Since January.
Yeah, my Saturdays haven't been so consistent because, you know, I book international guests and it's not always easy on their time.
Right.
So sometimes, like, you know, but for the most part, I would say, yeah, 4 podcasts a week, you know, minimum 3.
That it's fucking insane, man. Like, I don't know how you do fucking 3 a week even. But
yeah, it's a lot.
Dude, since January, just give me a few of your standout guests that you think that people should know more about.
Huh. Dude, I have so many guests. That's why, like, it's hard for me to think. But I mean, I do have standout ones for sure. And believe it or not, just because I see how big the ball python community already is, and I notice that there's other communities that could use more ball python breeders, I definitely feel like, you know, people should know more about my boy Socrates from Ari, Ellie, Max Boreals, which he's from Florida. He's a really good friend of mine, like one of my best friends for sure. But he's somebody who's very passionate about, you know, nido testing all his animals. Anything he gets in or leaves has document proof of tests, like kind of has the practices that like will definitely keep this hobby going for the long run if we could all do it. I mean, will we all ever do it? Probably not, but it still creates a sense of like excitement, that because there's people out there with OCD and there's people out there who like to track everything.
Sure. Yeah.
And when you have a big group of fucking chondros and you experience Nido, you're gonna want to be this fucking persistent. You're gonna want to fucking be on top of this shit because you don't want a wiped out collection like this man's had and many others had, right? So I would say right now I feel and you know I don't even not that he needs it because Socrates he's blowing up right now. I mean, I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I know. I've heard a lot about him.
He's fucking really blowing up right now. And you know, all he does is just post his animals. He doesn't really show his face much. Very private guy, but then like likes to show his kids and animals off because you know he has beautiful kids, he has beautiful animals. So I can tell you right now, that guy right there, man, he's definitely somebody that if you don't know about him yet, please go find out about him even more. And then also I will just say this person as well, because he just came out from hiding under a rock building guitars and fixing guitars for the last 15 years. And I know you know who this guy is, Greg Maxwell. You know from yeah. So Greg Maxwell is actually he was the one who wrote the More Complete Chondro book.
He's old school, man. Yeah.
OG. Super OG. Yeah. So the backstory on him is, you know, he's kind of just threw in the towel in the chondros 15 years ago, wanted to focus on his family and his job which was building guitars and fixing guitars, and has a lab of basically full of guitars. And now that his daughter's graduated and gone to college and she's out of the house, he's back into snakes, but he's doing ball pythons, which is awesome. Like he's not even doing the chondros. He's going into ball pythons. And I feel like, you know, hey, all these ball python people that are, you know, coming into the hobby should know about Greg Maxwell. This guy's a fucking legend. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Maxwell's done so much. Now, speaking of green trees, you keep some green trees, right? Well, what animals do you have? Because I haven't seen your place in person, but I've seen it, you know, on video. What animals do you breed versus what do you just have that you don't plan on breeding, or do you just plan on breeding everything?
I mean, at some point the goal is, right? I mean, it's not the necessity, but like if everything is under my care, it's established, it's grown. Yeah, I would hope to God I could get everything in my care to breed someday, but it's not like a time frame. It's not something I want to rush, and it's just happening as it happens. As far as what's happening versus what's not happening, you know, for the last 2 years, ball pythons has been my foundation. I bred ball pythons. That's kind of what's given me the money to say, fuck my 9 to 5. I'm very blessed. And put a lot of money into the podcast and do a lot of stuff like that. But I also have stuff finally this year. Like I have my first super dwarf retic clutch that's due in like less than a week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So very excited about that. Just because retics, I mean, it was ball pythons, chondros, and then retics. And, you know, retics got to the point where I had so many and they were so big where it broke my heart to get rid of them. But the one I held on to, which was a super dwarf, is going to give me eggs. So I get to see a bunch of retics again. I'm really, really excited for that. But, you know, I do have chondro stuff going. I don't want to talk. I hate talking about chondro stuff because, you know, but I mean, I'm not scared to. Like I can tell you right now, Mimi is about 10 days away from laying her clutch. I have one snake that, if you want to talk about heartbreak, my monoquary, who's probably about 5 days or so from ovulating, just found out she has RI. So and this was on Sunday. So I nido tested her Monday. I already got the results back yesterday. She's clean, which is good, but she's in the incubator right now, fucking where she's about to ovulate. And that's scary. So, I could put Fortaz in her and hit her with meds. But that could really do things weird to the eggs and they could just go fucked up. So I mean, I'm just going to let her ride it out. The fact that she doesn't have nido is what I'm more happy about. And, but yeah, we'll see that if everything goes right, that should be my second chondro clutch. Then I have boas. I have my first boa litter this year, which I'm very excited about. And I think that's it as far as breeding. Now I don't know if we have enough time. I have a lot of stuff, bro. Like I know you have some keep a lot. Right? So if you want to, like, you know, but yeah, so just the monitor species that I have, bell phase lace monitors. I have a pair, Mac Dre and Alice. Which I will be adding a normal lace to that group, and then that will be it on that. And then I have green tree monitors right here, Kevin and Brittany. And Brittany's she already gave me a clutch in January. They were duds, but that was her very first clutch, which it's typical for monitors to cycle out like a first clutch
Right.
of just duds. So right now she's going through the motions again, and we'll see what happens. Finger crossed on some healthy monitor eggs. And then, yeah, I have beaded lizards. I have a group of Rio Fuerte, Steve Angeli, and Applegate stock beaded lizards, a group of 5. They're about a year away from breeding as well. And then, this room right here, we're sitting with emeralds, chondros, scrubs, and that's it in this room. And then everything else inside the trap is just mainly big python species like Timor pythons, Papuan olives, white lip pythons, all the ball pythons, obviously. There's some boegas in there, so Cianias, false water cobras, blood pythons. Let's see, what else is there? I think that's it.
You got like a fucking mini zoo there, huh?
Yeah.
Is the goal, as far as the breeding of the reptiles, to have a company similar to like Reptech, similar to some of these other, rather large breeding facilities? Is that the goal, or is it the goal to just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll move when you have to move, but until then, you're gonna try and fit everything you can in the space that you have available?
Yeah, so I haven't. If I need to do more, I can. The thing is, with my plans, I need to expand. Like, as far as like, I need to make another building. That's like not need, but that would help me with what I have in mind, right? But for right now, I could get away with like what you said, just breed with what I can, hold back with what I can, and really the only thing I ever really want to market myself for is the ball pythons. Exotics Cartel, that's my actual so Trap Talk with Snake Trap Sessions. The Trap Talk is all related to YouTube, right? And that's all my content. And then Exotics Cartel with that logo, which is my face and a snake, half and half, in case nobody knows it. But that's where I sell all my snakes. And I do say I specialize in rare exotic reptiles, which I do. But as far as what's going to be available, it's going to majority be just ball pythons, probably some boas if I could ever, I'm testing the things out. I can tell you right now, my game plan, my business plan is structured around ball pythons, 110%. And because that fuels all my other fun stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I don't look at the chondros, not even the boas or super dwarfs, as money, or as I could be greedy if I want. I could hold it and just like trade. Like, I don't know if you know who Patrick Holmes is, but I definitely think a lot more people should know who Patrick Holmes is, another chondro guy. But this guy breeds so many chondros a year, and he's so good at it. And he breeds really nice ones to where he trades and gets whatever the F he wants whenever he wants. And he has so many people in his circle that he doesn't ever have to market his animals. And that's how I want to be with all my chondros and stuff. Like, I want to have a niche, like a little niche circle of people, and hey, I have this, and they know who they want, or it could just stay in touch. You know what I'm saying? And
you want to be a Warren Booth or a Bill Stiegel, that fucking. They don't even advertise their shit.
Bill's hard.
You
want to know who I would love? I don't want to say I want to be him, but somebody I really inspire. And the more I hear stories, the more I see pictures, it inspires me to even want to vend someday, even though I don't ever want to vend, but it maybe push me to that, is Rico Wilder, bro.
Oh yeah, Rico was great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's somebody who I wish he was here on this earth for me to just at least talk to him for a little bit, just because how much Forrest used to talk about him, and Forrest used to just go on and on and on and on.
I met Rico at the same conference that I met Forrest at.
Is that what's
the one in Maryland that we went to?
Oh, the chondro one.
Yeah, the chondro one.
They don't have it no more. That's something Emporium or something like that.
Yeah, it was run by a dentist and his wife.
Christian Stewart ran it.
No, this was Barry and somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
I forgot the girl's name, but that's where we met Forrest, and that's where Forrest was complaining about the hour-long trek to their house. But we met Rico there too, and he's one of the OG guys too, or he was one of the OG guys too, and he was going through a lot of the shit when I met him. It was definitely near the end, but yeah, I wish he was around too. He was just one of those guys that you could talk to for 3 and 4 hours at a time, and you would think that 5 minutes went by, So,
Right.
I mean, we've lost a lot of good people, but I think there's still a lot of great people left. And I think there's a lot of okay people up and coming. Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. How fucking thrilled am I to have Focus Cubed Habitats joining the Snakes in the Fat Man family. They are literally the best display cages that I've ever owned. I was a fan of this husband and wife team of builders from when they were putting out these amazing pieces of fucking art from their garage. Stephen and Ashley have been keeping reptiles for years, and as experienced keepers, they understand how important your animals are in your life. Focus Cubed Habitats provide security and comfort for your animals while maintaining these insane, badass designs that everyone can appreciate. They give you the opportunity to make their home part of your home. You want options? They've got options. Every Focus Cubed Habitat is custom made to your specs, and you could choose from hundreds of options on their website. Too many options? Ashley and Steven have a huge selection of blog-style articles and complete accessory fact pages on their website to help educate consumers about add-ons that will best fit their individual needs. Listen, at the end of the day, these fucking cages are showpieces. Every cage that Focus builds will be the centerpiece of your reptile room. Hell, they could be the centerpiece of your fucking living room. If you have reptiles that you want to display, look no further than Focus Cubed Habitats. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and even fucking TikTok. Or just go old school and go right to FocusCubedHabitats.com and tell them that the Fat Man told you to drop them a line.
I love, from what I've seen, the people that we no longer have left so much of them in people like myself that carry on the torch, like whatever Forrest had in mind or whatever fire that he started, he definitely left in me. I could tell you that right now, because I would have never thought I would keep monitors like this. I would have never thought I'd keep beaded lizards. And I'm obsessed with this stuff. Like, I read books on this shit now, which I never used to read. I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm just enjoying the ride. And it's all because of like things that, like, Forrest would go off and just treasure things he had, because, like, for whatever reason, if you believe in God or not, somebody put these animals in his hands. Somebody put these in his fucking life to make him feel the way he feels. And, without, really going too deep or telling you more, Forrest battled a lot of dark stuff that people don't know about. Yeah. And what really got him out of that was the animals. The animals was his savior. And, and I was able to talk to him a lot on the phone whenever he wasn't feeling well and stuff like that, which I'm very happy for as well. But these animals saved so many people out of a dark part of their lives. I'm one of them. I know Forrest was one of them. I know Desiree's one of them. Steven, all the friends that I have and I love rely on these animals for their peace of mind. I could tell you that right now. So, yeah, man. I mean, and this is why, Chris, somebody like you, I know the podcasts that you've had with these fucking people that, don't even show their face somewhere, don't even want to talk, and all because of they believe on how real you are. So, yeah, man. I mean, you're like, when I say that I am a part of a legendary podcast, I mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely had people on here who I probably could never get on my show. So respect to you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm just an idiot that tells dick and fart jokes, but fucking,
And you're a pervert.
Yeah, and a total pervert. Yeah, like fucking. I mean, have you seen the chicks in my shirts? Like fucking. This is what I do. Now, what travel plans do you have for the rest of the year?
Man, I'm traveling. It's fun. Don't get me wrong, but it fucking sucks. Like, I get anxiety at airports because, sometimes delayed flights, and I'm not tripping getting there, but whenever I go home, because when it's time to go home, I wish I could just snap my fingers and go home. And you can't do that on an airplane ride. You know what I mean? And you can't do that or anything when the flight's delayed or shit like that, So, you kind of learn to live with it. But right now I don't have any kids. My wife and I discuss on having kids someday. So I do know right now the fact that I have this freedom to travel once a month. I'm gonna fucking ride it till the wheels fall off until I'm locked down here, until it's fucking really all ball and chain. But at the end of the day, I have everything. I'm literally scheduled to next February as far as where I'm traveling once a month. So yeah, the remote podcasts are blowing up. They're awesome. It's exciting because I don't know if you've done anything in person with people, but when you interview,
whenever I go to Conroe or Arlington,
it's so much personable, it's so much like, and not that this is, honestly, I feel like this is better than being live, because there's no like distractions, like I'm just talking to you, you know what I'm saying? So this almost inspires me to not do lives, because lives could just be a fucking pain in the ass. There's just I try not to focus in the live chats, but I have to, because I do have people I do care about ask questions and stuff. But they got fucking idiots in the chats too, and it's just like, oh my god, like
there's so many idiots in all the chats.
Can I give a shout out real quick? Can I give a shout out?
Yeah, please.
Shout out to my boy Matthew Summers, Matt Summers, Reptiles. He's really taken the responsibility of traveling with me and taking care of a lot of my fucking stuff that I don't have to worry about, like I just want to say shout out to him. He's my boy, and he's actually deals with all the live chats during the remote podcasts. He's the one that takes over all that. So I want to say thank you for taking care of that. And I don't know, like, if it's one thing that I'm starting to realize about this hobby, that maybe why the people who looked after me do it is like you feel good looking out for people who believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And Matt Summers, I don't know if you know who he is or ever heard of him.
He's your guy. He was with you in Georgia, and in the other one that I saw where you were in the guys who was doing chondros, like in the basement, I think. It looked like he was in like Oregon,
Alabama. You mean Marshall Mendez?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but Matt Summers, I don't know if you know the story of how we met, but when I first started the podcast, the first year, I think this is on episode like 2 of Snake Trap Sessions of Trap Talk with MJ. I went to a Slipknot concert, very first metal concert, right? And I ended up getting to the pit. My buddy I was with didn't have passes, so I went to the pit, and I'm by myself. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was with a bunch of metalheads, and we're waiting there for like 30 minutes for the show to start, and it's like delaying, and I have to piss, and I'm getting uncomfortable, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is happening? And then I hear MJ Snake Trap Sessions, and I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? I was like, who knows me by this? Like, I'm so confused, right? And then it's Matt Summers. He's like, hey man, I follow your stuff on YouTube. I was like, wow, that's awesome. I was like, that's fucking cool. And then we had a moment, and then literally this concert started, and I ended up going in the mosh pit and blowing out my knee. I literally tore my ACL. It was a fucking whole mess, but we stayed in touch after that. We became boys. It was, I'll never forget that. I thought that was one of the coolest moments ever. And going back to one of the best things about this hobby is meeting people like that. How how many people were at that fucking concert? Thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? And just for me to be solo and him to call me out, it felt good. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Matt's my man, bro. I'm telling you right now, we have little rituals, after podcasts and shit. We watch South Park, you know what I'm saying? It gets super ripped, and just fucking he's my guy, bro. He's awesome. Like you said, it's good to have company, and just even to decompress after episodes. He's somebody I could really pick his brain about. What do you think of the show? When did you if there's something that I missed that he caught? It's just Matt's very in tune. He's a smart individual, and it's hard to get anything by that guy, man. He grasps to everything. So I don't know. I feel like everyone. I feel like it's a touchy thing to have friendships involved with partnerships that involve business,
right?
But when it's something that's meant to be, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, Matt, I never feel like Matt ever wants anything from me, and I only ever want to try to look out for him, and we have a good thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so yeah, so it's good.
No, that is fucking great. Now. I'm just, you have the people that hate you, right? That's normal.
Yeah,
right?
dude. Bob Smith.
You and me both. Fucking, I get 12 emails a week telling me how much I suck and I should go kill myself. But fucking, what's one of the things that you get thrown at you the most? Like, what is something that people hate about you that that's a reason that they're not listening to you or they're not watching you? What is that thing about you?
I think the one thing that really pisses people off, and it could be mixed with arrogance too, because it's been like my problem my whole life. People just think I'm arrogant. And the thing is, I just carry a fucking big load of confidence with me, because confidence gets the job done for me. If I feel like I could get fucking anything done, more likely I will get it done. I don't have anything that could stop me in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So I carry that. And the biggest thing that I carry that with in this hobby is I don't need shit from nobody in this. And people feel like they either feel like they deserve attention. They either feel like they deserve like, hey, you should notice me. And I just don't give a fuck. I never gave a fuck about your sticker swap. I never gave a fuck about your shirt. And I appreciate you giving me a shirt and I shot it out, but don't act like you didn't get nothing with it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know there's so many people out here that want something in return, no matter what they're putting into. They want something. And I can't stand that. And people could maybe feel like, well, that's not how I am. And I feel like I base off what I feel and what I see. And I feel like because of my past experience playing sports and being a drug dealer and just being a DJ and having so many people skills, I feel like my people skills are what no college degree could ever give anybody. And I hold on to how I feel about people. Like, unless you prove me otherwise, if that saying, if my dog don't like you, I don't like you. I believe in that. If my dog is uneasy around you, there's a fucking big reason behind that. And that's how I believe in stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, I think people have fucking really insecurity is a big problem in this world, especially in this country. Like, why do you think people like Kim Kardashian and all these fucking disgusting fake little Instagram models are like a big influence? Because people feel like they're ugly or they're not good enough, so they look up to something that has a lot of fucking following and popularity, right? So people just don't feel like they have enough worth, and they see people like me who don't care what anybody has to think, and I'm me, and people praise me for this too, and they look at me like, how does he do it? How can he be himself? Like, how? Like, and that kind of pisses him off. Do you know the Bob Smith story? Do we have time?
Well, we talked about it a little bit last time, but we have time. Fucking absolutely. Tell the Bob Smith story.
People thought for this whole Bob Smith thing, when I made it a hashtag 2 years ago, it was probably just around when Forrest died. Yeah, right after Forrest died. After that email came out and stuff like that, and I was like, it motivated me. Once I knew Desiree was like, yo, fuck this guy, just keep going, MJ. I was like, hell yeah, I still got my support. Fuck this guy. So fuck Bob Smith. And I aggressively went with that, not knowing if I would ever find out who this Bob Smith is, right?
So just to clarify, Bob Smith was a guy that threw some shade on you.
Well, Bob Smith is a fake Bob Smith isn't really Bob Smith, right? So this person sent an email to Desiree as a Bob Smith, right? And the email was just blatantly saying either dump MJ or you're not going to have my business and you're going to deteriorate. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it was a really fucked up email, right? And so, long story short, this Bob Smith is somebody I know. Truth behold, this turned out to be somebody who I found out that I was pretty close with. And this is somebody that I had on the podcast. I had him on the podcast, and he told me after the podcast, MJ, I love how real you are. I love that you just smoke and do your thing. Like, dude, what you're doing is amazing. Literally his words, okay? This is exactly what he told me. And everything that this guy had to say afterwards was how I'm just a really bad person for the hobby. I'm very negative. I promote fucking ghetto-ness. I'm so ghetto and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it just lined up that this person, Bob Smith, turned out to be a real Bob Smith. And this person who I physically talked to on the phone said he was the Bob Smith. Like, it came out. It's out. Bob Smith is real. He was real. Will I ever just blatantly say this equals Bob Smith? No, I'll let that person do that. I'm good. I have myself. I know. Like, I am good. Bob Smith is real. And guess what? To this day, it's still fuck Bob Smith. You should never let a Bob Smith get in your way. You should never let anyone who's trying to, like, deteriorate what you believe in, because that's what this guy tried to do, man. He tried tearing me down every way he can. He started groups, just like a little mini bar check situation. Only there was nothing to accuse me of. What the fuck am I doing? I did nothing. So to really answer all this, but like, what do you think people don't like you, MJ? It's because I'm MJ. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair answer, man. Fucking, and you know, the thing is, like, when I was going through all my shit, and people were starting their little groups, and you know, trying to get rid of me, guys like JT from Reptile, guys like, you know, Justin, they basically just came out and said, listen, you know, fucking, we're standing behind Chris no matter what. Yeah, you know, and that was a big thing. And when you have people to do that for you when you're going through some shit, I mean, that fucking boosts your confidence way more than any detractors could pull away from your confidence. So
I don't ever give this guy enough credit, because I've had conversations exactly what you said. I've had episodes where I felt like I was in hot water. I've had, you know, Facebook groups talk all this shit about me where I thought, oh, great. Like, do people really think about this? And
Right.
Justin Kabelka, man, I've had conversations with that guy who basically him telling me, MJ, you are not, like, just keep doing your thing. Miguel Garcia telling me, just keep doing your thing. Levance, fucking from Straight Fire Reptiles, just keep doing your thing. Like, you know, and these are people I look up to who are, you know, family people making a fucking good living with what they do, and that they don't give a fuck what anybody has to say.
Right.
Nobody's paying their bills, and nobody's paying my bills, and I don't care unless you're somebody cutting my checks. Then we could maybe talk about how I could talk and how I could do my thing. But other than that, I'm not signed to nobody. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's just yeah, I mean,
I think that's why both of us kind of, who don't give a fuck, where it kind of makes us uncancelable, you know, like, because you don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't, you know, I certainly could give two shits, you know, about what anybody thinks. And you're obviously the same way. Now that there's a lot of times where I'll think about it for a minute, and I'll be like, oh, they're saying this and they're saying that. Maybe, you know, maybe there is a point. Like, if one person says it to me, I don't really think about the consequences. If 10 people tell me the same thing, then you kind of just start thinking, you know, okay, maybe I am doing this. But then at the end of the day, I just think, fuck it anyway. You know, like, fucking, I could care less. Like, if I have to compromise the way I talk, I'll stop doing the show. I would rather do that than to have to compromise what the things I talk about and everything else. So I kind of think that you're in a similar position.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I didn't start this podcast for it to pay my bills. I hope it does. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm seeing some sort of traction where, hey, man, you never know, right? And I much rather rely on this than animal money. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, no shit, right?
So, but, you know, with that being said, I do mind, because if you watch any of my beginning stuff, bro, oh man, I was drinking on the show and I would just go off, bro. Like, I would go off, like, literally go off. I think I said fag a couple times by accident, just by and I actually said sorry, because I don't mean to talk like that no more live. Like, I'm just like, you know, I'm just brought up like just kidding around like that. But anyways, I was very loose. But that's because I had 4 or 5 viewers and I just didn't give a shit. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want to set, you know, because a lot of that I was expressing was my own issues. Like, I had anger, and I still have anger problems, you know, but, you know, a lot of that stuff, I didn't care to express my own anger on the show, and I didn't give a fuck who was I talking about and who was in that raft. Like, you're getting it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't want to display that kind of energy, because that definitely could come off negative sometimes. I'm just very passionate. If I'm going off about something, it's because I truly believe in it and I really want to get my point across. But I could tell you right now, I just know that there's ways of getting your point across without having to tear people down. And you know, and I don't know, like I said, it takes a lot for me to actually fucking have to call somebody out. Like, you have to be a true piece of shit for me to physically say your name and call you out. Let me just say, I'm not just sitting here to just blow people's names, because if I want to do that, I could say a shit ton of names, but I'm not. I'm only telling you the ones that really I feel like affect my how I feel about this hobby, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's wild.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there too. I try not to use names when I don't have to, but sometimes you just have to, and going back to what you said, how you would smoke and drink on the show. I kind of wish you were smoking a little more weed tonight because I got a fucking pile full of coke here that I was gonna slam my head against the desk and do a couple of rails while you were doing that. So fucking,
Oh my God. No, bro, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm actually not the one doing a lot of the listening. So it's hard for me to like, to get my smoking, but I'm good. I'm actually having a really good time listening and stuff like that. This is great.
All right. So now let's talk some lighthearted stuff. Why, what's with the llamas, or
God damn it, Chris.
as Spanish people say, what's with the llamas?
They're not llamas though, bro. You're basically calling my fucking Bolin's python a rosy boa by saying this.
Okay, well, I don't give a shit. What are they, alpacas?
Yes, thank you. They're alpacas. They're not servants. They're designer pets. I'm not kidding.
Okay, all right.
No, listen, I'm just kidding. No, dude. Those things just landed in my lap. I mean, it kind of like how this house and my wife all just happened to come into my life. The same thing with the alpacas, man. The alpacas used to belong. Like, okay, so to kind of give you an idea where I live, I have like a nice house, a house with a backyard, and behind the backyard is another yard that's just a whole acre. So I have like a whole acre of a backyard, and then my very very back neighbor had these two alpacas, and they were kind of fenced in within their small yard. And as soon as we got this place, I used to walk back there and just fucking talk to him. I fell in love with him right off the bat. I was obsessed. I love farm animals. I'm a big fucking farm guy. So, I talked to my neighbors when I first moved in. Hey, can I let them roam my yard? Like, can they? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. I'm like, all right, cool. So I would let them roam out, and like they would just do their thing, and I appreciated that. And then, I guess my neighbor's daughter, who would take care of them, ended up moving away for college, and they wanted to sell them. And I said, fuck that shit. You are not selling these. I had a connection with them at that point. I had already named them Tia and Tamara, sister. So, I ended up taking them, and now they're under my care, and that was like 3 years ago, and the rest is history. They're fucking pain in the ass. I got bit in the back of the neck just today, and it was cool. But yeah, man, I love that shit.
Well, what do they do?
They just chill. I mean, they're in the back. They're farm raised. They're mainly raised for their wool. I mean, their wool's worth a lot of money, like a lot of money. These came from like a bloodline of like their parents were like a $50,000 animal. But that like it's like it was that kind of hobby type shit, just like the snakes, right? There's like an alpaca trade type shit out there like that. So their wool, we get decent money for their wool every year. It's work, but we get decent money for the wool every year. Yeah, I mean, it's basically it.
Is MJ out there in the backyard fucking shaving a fucking alpaca down?
Dude, I might hire somebody to do it. Last year, the neighbor came over and we did it together, and that shit was fucking a pain in the ass, bro. Like we had to grab it and then get its legs and pull them, and like it was like it was terrible, and there's like professionals who will come and kind of do it. They could do it standing up, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna hire someone to do it. So yeah, it was super sketch last year doing it. I appreciate the neighbor coming through and helping me, but man, that was not fun. That was no good.
Well, what city are you in again?
So I'm in Spring Valley, which is the inner city of San Diego. Right. So I'm 12 minutes from downtown, 15 minutes from the airport. I'm very close. I'm 20 minutes from the beach. So
yeah, I used to live in San Marcos. So
cool. Yeah, right. 45 minutes from there. We
used to play brick by brick and fucking King.
Oh yeah, damn.
All those other places, So, so what do you do not reptile related that you just enjoy doing?
What do I do non-reptile related that I enjoy doing? I mean, hanging out with my wife. I mean, if it's not the reptiles, it's because my wife needs attention too, right? So, and she makes sure of that. And me and my wife just love doing stuff. I mean, we live in a beautiful city, so we're either going to the beach or we're foodies. We like going to eat and stuff like that. We just literally take advantage of living in such a beautiful place. We have our spots. We go see her parents. You know what I mean? We're just, we do our best to try to travel a little bit more, but I don't know, man. Like my life is these animals. I don't have a day off. It's fucking every day something related to the animals, or it's a vlog I have to edit. It's something. It's always something. So this is my life, bro. To be honest, this is it. And I'm not happy you're doing anything else but this. So
Right. No, I got you.
yeah.
Now, if name something that if you don't think that it's fixed now, is definitely going to be a problem 5 years from now for this industry.
I mean,
Because there's 3 or 5 things, but puff give Panama Red, right? Fucking.
I need to fucking fire my lighters out. Let me think. Because the one thing I could tell you that is definitely going to fuck people up, and this is if like anyone into chondros or getting into chondros or any kind of boreal snake or any kind of fragile snake is, selling or bringing something in without having it tested. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many things out there that are floating around, stuff that people's had in their collection that they don't even know, that they just sell and dump off to somebody else, and then boom, they get hit with something disastrous. And it could be to somebody who has no clue what's happening. It's their first snake, or it's their first time investing. And there's people that get hit like this that never want anything to do with this ever again, and they fucking say fuck this shit. So I think just doing everything you can to have the best practices right off the bat. And I mean, I guess that could lead to research. I mean, I guess people just need to do their homework more.
Well, I think that people need to start fucking treating their snakes like a goddamn dog. Well, like, when you get a dog, you make sure that everything is healthy about the dog, and you fucking, the dog is tested for 20 different things, and you worry about every little thing. I think that people have to maintain that same kind of care with reptiles. Otherwise, it's never going to get better, because are these big breeders going to get every snake tested ever? It's just not going to happen, right? But if you could teach the kid with 5 snakes to make sure that everything gets tested, in 10 years, that kid will probably have a bomb collection that's better than anybody else's, because everything's healthy as fuck, because he tests every year. He does all the right shit that he's supposed to do. So,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
I was just going to branch this and relate this to like another thing that's really going to fuck us up is supporting the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the case in any industry, right? The thing is that the wrong people have such giant followings that it's hard to push through on that. So like, really have, but like, right now, Jay is probably too big to fail, right? Because of the followers he has. Like, Jay would really have to do something, fucking fucked up to ruin, the amount of followers and the amount of watches that he has. Barcheck would have to do the same thing, like that.
So something worse than animal neglect or abuse is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, because fucking people don't know enough to know that the reptiles are being abused or neglected. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just feel like no matter what somebody does, they could still sell a snake. I don't give a fuck how big of a piece of shit you are. There's like somebody will still support you, and that kind of hurts.
Well, just think, that fucking that douche in fucking last year with the Texas thing, Cersei, still in business, right?
I don't want to talk about that guy, bro. I'm sorry.
Fuck that guy. I mean, but the thing is that the people are still buying from him now. He's still in fucking business. He's a fucking degenerate, and fucking it's like it doesn't matter. People, people are still going to him.
And I will say, he don't give a fuck. He never cared to begin with.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that was all. That whole YouTube thing, all this crocodile tears. You guys, whoever was in the comments and saying this guy's full of shit, they called it. That was on point. That's all I got to say. And I definitely cut ties with that guy too. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I never had ties with him. It's like fucking.
He was one of my first mentors. That guy was my first mentor.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah. Dude,
I didn't know that.
I went to bat for this guy, because you know how I am, you know how it was, and him and Miguel, you know what I'm saying, and we're kind of like the two first ball Python guys I only took information from and only cared about talking to, didn't give a fuck about nobody else. And then as things were progressing, I noticed how this guy's attitude was changing, and a lot of things were becoming a lot more suspect. And then he started hating a lot of me on Miguel, a lot, like aggressively hating and doing weird shit. And I was like, what's going on? And then I found out it was coming my way, and he was creating fake accounts and like scoping me out. And it was just got really weird, bro. Like it got really, really weird. And that's how I noticed how this is like the weird shit that people are telling me about the hobby. Like, and I don't know if it's just a Midwest or East, like that lower section of just people who have nothing else better to do. But it's like, I don't want to do that. It's all good, bro. Like, honestly, it's easy to just block the person and fuck off. You ain't gonna come in my world because and maybe he does follow me on a fake account. I don't give a shit. But all I know,
well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I got enough people that hate me that will come out into woodwork every now and then.
But you're right. But you're right, because you had so many people at that time who were telling me how I'm in jeopardy because how this guy is career suiciding himself, and I'm gonna go down with him by bringing him on my show. And I'm like, and these are big breeders telling me this, and they're concerned for me. And I'm just like, dude, I was like, okay, let's just say that what you're saying is right. Like people make this that big of a deal. What does it take 6 months for this shit to go away and people will buy snakes again from this guy? And that's what I thought. But sure enough, no, it wasn't. He did win some people over. He did fucking, fucking say like what he had to say. And people were like, oh, okay. But then for the most part, the smarter people were like, no, I'm not buying this shit. And what's funny is as soon as that episode happened, I'm not going to say the name, but go ahead and check on who I had on the show. After that guy called me and said, hey, by the way, Chris Surgery's not sorry, bro. He called me laughing about it. Like this is a fucking joke to him. He don't give a fuck. So there's that. When I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy, fuck this. Because I really thought we got somewhere. I really did. I was like, I mean, you get called out by Billy, you get called out by Cusco, then even I go in on you, and I'm your friend. I'm his own friend at that time too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from my heart. Like I'm really hoping somebody we could go somewhere, because this guy does have a big following. Like he was my mentor. You think I want to see this guy go down like this? You know what I'm saying? But no, it's nothing was taught, no lesson was learned. I
didn't believe all the fucking crying bullshit either. I mean, that was just like of course, if your business is threatened and your money is threatened, you're gonna you're gonna put the act on, but yeah, I mean, fuck that guy. I mean, the thing is that there's so many cunts like that in the business, whereas there still is so many great people in the business, right? And I tend to not really talk about that end of it on my show, okay? Because it's not fun. It's like, Justin didn't fuck anybody this week. So that's real funny, right? Like fucking John Layman did something to revolutionize the industry. That doesn't fucking matter, right? But like it's just like, that's not fun. But fucking talking shit and complaining and kind of finding the things about this business to make fun of is kind of like my shtick, right? Because fucking in any business, there's a bunch of shit that's fun, that's funny. And you think like, why the fuck are they doing this? And I think that calling shit out like that, number one, is funny. But number two, maybe it'll just make the next jerk think a little bit more and say, you know what? Maybe I don't need this super pinstripe Phantom. And maybe I should get rid of that washing machine on cinder blocks in my front yard, and fucking let my house have more curb appeal, like fucking just... Maybe it'll help. So
I mean, if you're in a position where a car could help you make money and you don't have a car, then yeah, you don't need that super Phantom pinstripe scaleless head, whatever the fuck you're. I don't know what the fuck.
Dude, there's nothing I hate more than these fucking hobo handouts. Like fucking these Instagram lives where they're doing fundraisers for some jerk that lost his job. And
dude, okay, can I, Chris? Can I totally interrupt you real quick and say one thing that fucking really bugs me? And I have proof of this too, is motherfuckers who out here putting their kids out there, making it seem it's about them, but it's really about the kid, but it's really them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, and I understand like autism and stuff is a real thing and I appreciate it, but like, I feel like some of that is overstretched a little bit, and some of this is just because this is all I could do to get people to watch me, and it's like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're that desperate for 42 viewers, like you're gonna do this, like, and I bro, honestly, like, oh my god,
dude, I don't believe in this a lot of, like, I definitely believe in autism. Okay, I definitely, I don't
like,
believe,
like, okay, I don't know if you know who this, probably, Porter's Pythons. Like, he was my boy, bro. Like, he used to do awesome fundraisers, which, like, it was actually like showing the cause, what it went to, and like, there's all this like proof, like this buildup behind it, showing the kid, and like this other stuff is like, there's no really good like what's really happening here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. I'm just saying, like, I am just seeing how I feel, and that feels suspect to me. I don't know.
I am accusing people of certain things, like, especially these fucking jerks. They're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so depressed. I don't want to take care of my animals. I just want to. I think about killing myself every day. You know what, motherfucker? You never saw a caveman fucking be like, oh man, I'm so depressed. I don't want to go hunt that dinosaur today because I won't be able to eat. You never fucking saw that. So these fucking people with these fucking bullshit, and I know I'm going to take a lot of shit for this, but everybody could claim mental health problems these days,
right?
And
it's so easy. It's so they rely on it. It's fucking PTSD, like, and that pisses me off because I actually have PTSD. Like, it relates to a lot of my anger, and motherfucker, I could tell you some stories, and I mean, I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying, like, there's people out there who really abuse this shit, and it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt. I there's so many of these fucking cuntheads. I fucking hate them. Now, right now, currently, your job is this podcast and breeding the ball pythons, right?
Full time,
right? So, now, do you have other income streams besides this? Just for people that want to do, they look at you and they're like, oh, I want to do what MJ does. So, what do you have going on? And there you go, fucking light it up, baby.
So, I could tell you right now, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I would say 85% of my income is ball pythons. Yeah. But I also have 1 second. Oh shit. But I also have other, I'm lucky to have a Patreon page. I get paid a little bit off YouTube, not much. But yeah, I would say ball pythons is my biggest source of income.
Okay. Go ahead. Pay attention. Don't burn yourself.
I can multitask. Go ahead.
All right. So now, when you wake up, right? What's a normal MJ day when you're not traveling? Okay, so let's just say you're home for a week. You wake up at 7:00 in the morning because I see you on fucking Instagram.
Up and going.
I'm like, motherfucker, it's like 4:00 in the morning there. What's this dude doing up? Like fucking. So what's a normal day?
I'm built like a probably 65-year-old as far as like my sleep and all on how that goes. I've always been a morning person. Like, even as a kid, like when I had friends that stayed over and shit, I was the first one to knock out, first one to wake up. So that's always been me, and I don't force it. Like, I like that. I like the morning, right? But now that I have all these animals and I want to say responsibilities, because I do have a schedule right here. Like, this is my schedule. Like, Sunday through Monday, I'm fucking working or doing something, right? So I built, I'm a big thinker in the morning. Like, I do, a lot of affirmations, meditation stuff that I've been doing for like the last couple months. Shout out to my boy Socrates, but he's really got me into the habit of doing that. So first 20 minutes, 25 minutes of my morning is just me doing affirmations and meditations in a quiet room, stretching out and just fucking trying to get my mind to think on stuff that's relevant to the game plan, right? Instead of getting my head fucking clouded with all the negative shit, because it's easy for me to think of negative stuff. So my whole start of my day is to get my mind in the most positive place possible. And then I hit, I have over 200 animals. So I don't do everything at once, as far as, there are times where I have to do both rooms and I'm like, fuck, like I have to do everything. But the way I schedule my day is basically about 3 to 4 hours of snake chores, and then about 2 to 3 hours of like either editing or something related to podcast or some sort of like marketing or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, basically full day is just, by the time I'm done with that, you know, I don't know, like I'm either kicking with the wife. The wife gets off work like around 5 or 6, and we either go work out, or that's a lie. She works out. I don't work out. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. But yeah, I mean, some days, like I said, like if there's a time where I fucking know I have to leave the next day and I'm putting my wife in charge of 200 plus animals,
Right.
I make sure everything is fucking tip top. Like that whole day, every tub, every enclosure, everything is inspected. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those are the tough days. And also when I get back, because when I get back, I would love to just kick my feet up and chill, but no, now I got to go through everything, make sure everything's still alive. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I mean, I will tell you, when I took the push to do this full time and I was only doing two podcasts a week, I felt like I could do more and I wanted to do more. So I had this idea of putting out 4 podcasts a week, probably about like summertime of last year. And I just waited to 2022 to do it. And also, I don't know if you know this, but I created 2 other YouTube channels. One for all my vlogging content, so all my vlogs that I do and shit, and tour facility tours and whatnot. And then I have one for all my clips of my past guests that I've had. So that was recommended by Barcheck, because he says by me putting all this shit out on one channel, I'm fucking up my algorithm and keeping myself from growing, because YouTube doesn't know where to put me, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, and that has actually helped me since I've only put nothing but podcast content on this channel. I've already gained like 500 subscribers in like the last like 2 weeks or something like that. So
right. Well, now you also release podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and all that, right?
Every platform, every major platform.
Okay. And are the podcasts that are on iTunes and Spotify video or audio only?
It's just audio, I think. I didn't know there was video. Is there video?
Yeah, you can have the option. I think that you have to pay a certain amount to do that, but
I didn't know that.
and what do you find is larger as far as numbers go? Audio numbers or YouTube numbers?
Audio numbers are big.
Right?
Yeah. Like I appreciate YouTube, but I'm not over here like shooting myself in the foot if one podcast interviewer only gets like 800 views on YouTube, because I can tell you on the average, mine are getting like 2,500 to 3,000.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So and that's and I just want people to listen and just to like give people an idea, like it's really hard to make a legit living off YouTube on almost anything you do. But that even said, the only people really making a legitimate income off YouTube where they could say I can make a living off this are people with fucking million subs, like people who have crazy accounts. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, I mean, I just want people to think that. Like, I hope you're getting into YouTube just wanting to do this for your own documentation and have fun with it, and not expect like you to become a millionaire in the first year. Like, you're tripping, especially nowadays. Like, YouTube is designed so you don't make money. Like, it's almost hard to make money on YouTube. So I'm just saying, get that whole money, like find another niche. Like, YouTube's good for marketing. YouTube's great for getting your name out there and people getting an idea who you are. But for you to be like a Mr. Beast or like a Barcheck or, even a Jay Brewer or some shit, like look at their numbers. Like that's why they are the way they are, as far as why they're so dedicated to their content, because they're not making money off snakes. They're making money off that. That's their money maker.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought about when I switched over to doing YouTube is this going to affect my other numbers? And then, what if it does? Like my like I only get 800 views on my YouTube videos, okay? But the audio numbers are still very, very similar to yours. Like a normal audio podcast will get between 4,000 and maybe 7,000 views. Okay. Right. Whereas the YouTube will get 500 views. And then and even though I don't want to think this way, I think about it because I'm like, oh man, people are going to think I suck. I'm only getting 500 views on YouTube, right? Not even paying attention to the fact that the audio numbers are still the same, and the people watching on YouTube are really just additional numbers now.
Hey, you got to keep it. You got to keep in mind too. You built your platform off the audio platforms, and you came to YouTube after. So, and your YouTube started like how long ago? Like what? Barely a year ago, right?
Well, I only started doing interviews on YouTube in January.
Right. Okay.
So but I put out certain videos prior to that, but they were just like one-offs, But I've been doing twice a month on YouTube now regularly since January, and I'm just like, this sucks. I wish I didn't tell my sponsors I was going to do video for a full year because it's so much more work.
It's not easy. I mean, like I said, it's and the fact that you're not even doing it live is, I feel this has been better for me. I mean, live, like I said, it's easier when I don't have to worry about nothing else but the fucking what we're talking about,
Right.
So,
well, and also, live gives you that numbers jump right off the bat because everybody wants to see it live.
Right. True.
Now, has there ever been something where you're like, this is gonna fucking kill, and then it ends up just getting these dismal numbers that you never thought would be possible?
I can't think of the people offhand, but there's been a couple times where I expected like, oh man, this is going to be a huge turnout, and like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, and there's, dude, trust me, there's especially been times where, COVID numbers fucked with me a little bit because COVID, everything was high, like especially when it first started. Like I had the average of like 1,800 to 2,000 on YouTube, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is great, and then
I'm crushing it,
and then once COVID stopped in a sense, and people were going back to work, all that shit dropped, essentially. But then I was noticing like my viewers, as far as lives, drop a lot, like almost in half, and I was like, that was pissing me off. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck? But I had to remind myself why I was doing this. And, I had loyal people who were always there in the chats, always there ready to rock and roll. And I don't give a fuck. Like, it can play with your head sometimes, especially because when you get high numbers and you're like, you think you're on a high and you're like, oh, I'm going somewhere, and then it stops. But I don't look and respect somebody off their YouTube subscription numbers. I don't look and respect somebody off how many followers. All that shit is a game. You could figure that out and be anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are unless you have something as far as passion and work to prove to me. And I don't feel like building a social media account to 40, 50,000, 100,000 followers is really like it's an algorithm. It's fucking, you just posted shit at the right time. Like, good for you. Like, I know one account that went from 2,000 followers to 32,000 followers just off a couple Tinley posts, and Instagram did that. So cool. Like, that's all it takes. So like, why should anybody it could happen to anybody, what I'm saying?
Right. Like, I got to tell you, the thing that actually, absolutely infuriated me the first couple of months I was doing YouTube was I was working so hard on doing these like produced YouTube interviews and shows, right? And then some fucking moron from a fucking Repticon puts an hour-long video out of just walking around the Repticon, not even talking, just with some free music behind it. And that shit got like 18,000 views. And I was just like, motherfucker, this is killing me. But as you learn more about it, you just think, fuck it. I'm like you to the point where in around, February, I was like, really got to just think about why are you doing this, And I'm just thinking, at the end of the day, fucking, I sell a lot of shirts, man. Right. So fucking, so I'm doing something right, So that's why it doesn't really depress me as much. But plus, you get a workflow going. Well, like, like when you did your first vlog, you were probably thinking like, fuck, this is a lot of work, right? But a couple of months into it, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad because you're learning how to actually do it at that point.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, man. Figuring out this, especially back then when there wasn't really, StreamYard was around, but it was brand new. And I didn't know about StreamYard. So I tried a couple different other platforms before then. And it was brutal. Like, the connection was bad. dropping out, coming back in, and that pissed me off because I'm a perfectionist. Like I'm somebody where if I'm doing something, I want it to sound good. Like I would just like I had a pet peeve about like if somebody wanted to DJ with me, they couldn't crash. Like you were gonna play a clean set, like everything fucking matters. You know what I mean? So I had to push through a lot of that stuff, and the only hard work was just learning to not let that fuck up my motivation to want to keep putting out content.
Right.
And it got better. Like once I started like putting my mind to it and started figuring things out, doing research, I started finding out what better platforms to use. And yeah, shout out to StreamYard. StreamYard was the first platform that I was easily able to grasp things and figure things out and, put my own touch to it. And, a lot of people give me props on my setup and stuff, and I appreciate it, but this ain't nothing. It's nothing crazy, and I just figured out how to make it look good. And I do say people like Barchek, who created his own podcast room, and that's huge inspiration for me. Like someday I would love to have a crazy roundtable for motherfuckers like to come just kick it with
Well,
me.
yeah, he fucking Joe Rogan'd it out. I mean, he did
It's so
great
sick in there, bro. Like, oh man, like motherfucker dropped cheese on that room. You could tell.
right, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, it's rough. What do you think about all these these podcasts that are popping up that are just discovering StreamYard, and you see the little duck in the corner still. They're obviously just using the free version, and they're just doing their podcast, and they've been doing it for a couple of months, and they think they're professional. And what's your take on those?
I mean, I have a saying that me and my buddies, tend to say to each other, and it's see at the top.
Yeah.
And but there's just some people I won't see at the top, and that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Do you find that you've been doing this long enough to know who's not going to be around next year versus who is? Yeah.
I know. I mean, I know because some people, like, even though I've seen some cringy shit, I've seen some people just push through it, and they built some sort of traction off of it. So I don't really know what people have in them without really knowing who they are. I could tell you though, there is a lot of stuff I can't stand to watch. Like it's like, I have people I feel like that don't really want to do it. They're just doing it. And, they're like, kind of just fucking off and talking to people in the comments. And like I said, I appreciate people in live chats, but I don't try to get too wrapped into that. Like I'm here for the fucking guest. And I feel like a lot of people don't care enough about their guest to like even dive deep in with them. And the thing about me is, and I still have a fucking crazy hit list of people I still bring on, but everyone I bring on, I have some sort of passion of wanting to know more about them. And that's my drive and excitement to every podcast. And I feel like people don't have, especially a lot of these newer podcasts, don't have a real game plan on why they bring the guests that they bring on. Are you just bringing them? Are you just bringing them on because I just had them on, or are you just bringing them on like? And there are people out like, and I will say, that when people are copying you, you're doing something right. And there are literally people out there, and they've switched it up a bit, but you see some people that are literally copying what you're doing, and it's like, what the fuck? But honestly, I already know I'm a trend. I already know everything I do is trendy, and that's fine. You go ahead and copy me all you want. You will never be what I am. But at the end of the day, some people are here for the long run, and some people are here to try to, make it real quick and or something, or look for something else. I don't know, Chris. It's hard to tell what people's true intentions are nowadays. All I got to say is God bless them. I wish them all the best. And if you are really meant for this shit and you are going to be around, I'll see you someday. That's all I got to say. We'll meet someday. We will talk, and that's it.
You're adorable with your whole God bless him. Fuck him. I just say fuck him. What an idiot. But like you're going to come on fucking telling people how to fucking raise animals when you've been doing it for a month and a half. Fuck you. You're going to come on telling people how to fucking video stream when you're fucking sitting on a fucking couch with cum stains on it. Fuck you, man. Fucking, it's like, go fucking fuck you and your mother, you dumb fucking cunt. I hate 90% of fucking the people that try and do it now. But there are really good people. There are really good people getting into it. And I think that there's room for everybody that wants to do it right. But in a world where you do stuff and it looks good. Cusco does stuff and it looks good. Miguel does stuff and it looks good. why would you go and do something less than that if you have the option to be to look like Miguel or Cusco or I just don't understand these fucking people that are doing it. Like if you're gonna do it right. So
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it after you know who you are. Like, find out who you are. Like be who you are meant to be, and your life is gonna be a lot easier. And I feel like I motivate, Miguel motivates, you motivate people to do stuff, but based off because how we do it. And they need to do it how they're meant to do it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be who the fuck you are. You don't need to be a copycat. Even though that there's fucking Pepsi and Coke, doesn't mean that you should fucking be the exact, but even Pepsi and Coke have a different taste. You feel me? Like,
Right.
I'm a Pepsi guy. I don't know about you. You Coke or Pepsi? What do you
I'm
like?
a Pepsi guy all the way.
Yeah, my boy. Oh, my boy. My boy.
Well, look.
Yeah, there you go. I fucking love it. I love it. But anyways, I mean, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I could tell you that I'm happy that there's other reptile podcasts out there because it's only going to help this industry grow. It will, because but and also at the end of the day, it's you could just see the passion behind some people's effort when they're doing a podcast, and that should tell you where you feel like they're going to be in the next few years. If they're going to be here or if they're just looking to get some followers and act like they're cool at shows and whatnot. Which okay, yeah.
Well, I love watching the people that start the podcast and then start doing the vlogs, and then they finally get their 1,000 followers, and then realize that
they made it.
Well, they realize that YouTube paid them $1.86 this month, and then fucking the next month they made $1.40, and then and I love that disappointment when somebody really goes after something hard and then realizes that they haven't been going after it hard at all. Like, I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know what work is unless you're working 23 hours a fucking day, going after the hustle and fucking trying to make shit happen. You're not doing it. Like if you're not out working me and I'm fucking like a almost 50-year-old fucking mostly crippled dude, like fucking that's bad. Like fucking so it's just I just I'm glad that there's other reptile podcasts out there too, because I don't really talk about reptiles on my podcast. So if I want to learn about reptiles, I'll listen to one of your shows or Barcheck shows or something like that. But I think that you found a niche. I think I found a niche. I think Miguel definitely found a niche. Justin found a niche. These are all people that you even if you don't love them, you have respect for them. But there's 500 other people that don't. And if you have under 100 views, I don't mean to be a dick, but really you're just getting in the way, right? Like fucking. I mean, come on, man. Like,
well, I mean, like have the under views, but don't act like you're sick because you have 100 views, or don't act like fucking and oh man, I don't know, like it's. You said this a while ago on a podcast on how people just don't put no effort into their backgrounds or into their mics or like, and it's like, you know what I mean? Or don't even show that they want to be there. And it's just like, what? Like, where's the passion? Like, where's the energy? Like, and like, but that's fine. People need to figure it out. It's just like breeding chondros. Like, oh, you think this is easy? Well, fucking let's go. Let's see how this works out for you. And if you can handle the heartbreak and the people not showing up and watching your shit and you can still put it out, well, then good for you. That you will go somewhere. I'm telling you, there's a guy out there. I don't want to say his name. He's in some really hot water right now. He got thrown in pretty hard with somebody who has no room to talk shit, which is Nerd. But Nerd.
No, you could say Derek already knows he got called out. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. And I listen, I had a talk with Derek and this is a while ago. This is before, this is when I had other of his sponsors coming to me saying, hey, man, do you know who this Derek Reptiles is? He posts a lot of live feeding videos and I'm not with that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I used to post live feeding videos like before I met Forrest and I only did it because I noticed how many views I was getting, and I was like, fuck, like these work, you know what I'm saying? But it was also fuck, and I didn't care who I pissed off at the time either. I just didn't care. I was really fucked up mentally at the time. Not that I'm not now. I'm just saying back then I was really fucked up. So anyways, as I built a relationship with Forrest and I only wanted this guy's respect, he told me one day, you promise not to ever post any live feeding videos ever again. I was like, yeah, I promise you. And I didn't really even question it. I'm just not going to do it because it bothered him. And he's somebody who's so respected in the game. Yeah, I look up to him that much where I didn't even it was like done. I don't care. And after that, I realized I was like, dude, nobody who's even relevant in the hobby think that's cool. Like nobody thinks a live feeding video is fucking cool. And if you do, you're not one of them or you're not one of us. So that being said, I kind of felt like I knew where Derek was at, and I thought I could talk to him and be like, hey man, just so you know, this is what's happening. I've been there myself. Trust me. And you could do what you want. Keep doing your thing, but it's not going to get the people who really matter in this hobby to back you up. You're going to be getting a whole nother fucking crowd of people who aren't even about this. Like you're going to be getting different types of people. And if you want that, that's fine. I'm letting you know, you're not going to be getting the kind of love that you should be getting from the right people, and nothing against Derek, but he did kind of take it the wrong way. And he, in a sense said, all right, cool, late, and just hangs up on me. And I'm like, all right. and trust me. And like, hey, I'm nobody to be told, like, you're not going to tell me, I know Derek's a big grown ass man. So, I get it, and I wasn't trying to step on any toes, but look what fucking happened, man. So, at the end of the day, especially right now with what's happening, and you're trying to be a figure in this hobby, you're trying to be somebody that people respect. You're posting live video. Come on, bro. Like, come on. That's you just fucked yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's fucked. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wish all the best for Derek. I don't have anything against him. Like I said, I just hope he understands why the majority of people don't think that's the way to go for a platform. And at the end of the day, no one's going to want to support that. Like, no one's going to come on your shows. No one's going to want to fuck with you. As far as the people who've been in this, I mean, I'm sure you can bring new people on. That's fine. But I'm just saying, God bless Derek Reptile. That's like,
no. I agree. Derek is definitely nice enough.
Nice guy. Like Derek's nice. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a malicious person. You know what I'm saying? He's still very green into this. Like he's not like, and as much as he kind of gets a little bit of a following, you're still brand new, bro. Like, like you're still brand new. So
I think he's getting these huge guys on his show, and that might have went to his head a little bit. Where he's like, I could do what I want now. Fucking Justin's coming on, and Ozzy's coming on, and
but a bunch of people has gotten them on. Like that's like, I mean, dude, just so you know, anybody out there who think it's fucking like, wow, how'd you get that person on? It's not hard to ask, motherfucker. Just ask, and you'll be surprised who will say yes. Like that's it, And Derek was one of those person who just asked. Who knows how he's asking? I don't know how he's asking, but however he asks, he's getting them, and that's fine.
But is there anybody that you haven't got on yet that you wish would come on?
Let's see. Well, I have. Okay, I will blatantly say, because this dude knows he's under contract on this, and I don't think he's ever done a podcast, but he's somebody who's influenced me since the beginning years. But shout out to my man Elijah Armis from Juggernaut Reptiles. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like low key, but not low key. Like if you've been around, you know who he is. I'm very inspired by this guy. Like how like he's just a rugged fucking East Coast New York dude, family guy. Don't give a fuck about nothing. And he's done some really amazing stuff with these fucking blood pythons, short tails, ball pythons. And he's just always been somebody I've been after. And he told me once it's time, he will come onto my show. Every time I hit him up, he just says not yet. So other than that, Ed Marino, I need a round 2 with Ed Marino because Ed Marino has never been on a podcast, and I was able to get him on the podcast with Unfiltered Reptiles podcast I do with Desiree and Steven. But I could go another 4 hours with that guy. So I want to bring him on. But there's a lot of stuff going on with him where he just wants nothing to do with no social media right now. So that's in the air. Let me think. Who else is there? Oh, Eugene Bissett. I'm trying to get Eugene Bissett on. And I don't know if you heard who he is.
Oh, yeah. Of course I do. Yeah.
I think you've had him on too, right? You've had Eugene Bissett, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I had Ralph Davis on.
Yeah, I know you've had Ralph. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, damn, man. I'm tired of bugging that guy, man. But I probably bugged that guy for at least 2 years straight to come on the show. And not like a dick way, but like, we talk about fishing and house building shit first and foremost, because that's all he cares about right now. So, but yeah, what a time. What a guy to have on your show.
I'd love to have Tracy Barker on.
Yeah, Tracy.
Yep. I mean, that would be unreal. I'll take her husband too. Casey Lassick, I'd fucking love to have him on.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the Sutherlands, I'd love to have some of these old school guys on.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, those are my biggest sharks. I'm telling you right now. I mean, like, nothing against anyone who's killing it now in a nowadays world, but I'm just saying, like, the pioneers, the historical people are the ones and that's kind of what Forrest embedded in my head, because he was all obsessed about what it used to be. And I feel like that's so interesting. We wouldn't have the lines that we have. We wouldn't have the type of breeding plans or structures we have if it wasn't for these people who started this. So, and they don't get brought to the table enough at all. And a lot of people don't even know what their names are. So that's why I'm like, bro, there's so much of a meat on the bone that has not been taken off yet. And I have a list, like, and trust me, it's fucking thick. And that's what she said. But I'm looking forward to this. This is great because the info, I'm not somebody who likes to listen, but this type of shit I can listen to all day, every day. And it's a good change of pace for my life for sure.
Yeah. Now, do you feel that doing 3 a week you're gonna be able to maintain that?
3 a week, yes. 4, I mean, I don't want to just bring anybody on. Like, I have a pet peeve about that. Like,
that's the whole thing, is that there's people that just aren't interesting.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Now, not that you've had non-interesting people on. I'm just saying that it's going to get to that point where you're just going to like for instance, like if somebody asks to be on my show, I immediately say no. I'm like, that sounds desperate. I'm not having you on. If a new guy asks to be on 15 minutes, I'm like, nope, I'm not. You can't be on, because that just sounds desperate. Like, I have to either have heard of you, or you have to be doing something that people recommend you, So do you think that, I mean, you got 8 more months to fill, 9 a week, or 12 a month, actually.
Thursdays locked. Yeah, my Thursdays are locked in. Sundays are like, my Sundays, I have a list big enough to fill my Sundays. And let's see. So hold on, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Mondays are even bigger, because Mondays are my new Breeder on the Block series. So that's nothing but a series of new people who are just telling me their experience about what it's been like so far. And, some of it's good, some of it's bad, whatever. I want to hear about it. And some of those could be an hour, they could be 2 hours, but I could cut those. However, if it's not, all right, grasping, thank you for being here. See you later. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's been very interesting. My Monday shows have been almost as big as my Thursday shows. But Saturdays, like I said, are the tough ones, because those are the ones I do at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? And a lot of people they're busy Saturday, and plans come up and things come up, and I don't have, like, when it comes to Thursday nights or a Sunday, I have a backup for the most part. I can always fill the spot. But my Canadian and my UK and the Germany and those kind of people, I don't have so plugged up as good as I want yet. And I don't want to just, like you said, bring just any fucking Joe Schmo on. I don't care where you're from. If you're not interesting, if I don't feel like I could fucking, get information from you, then I'm not going to lie, no disrespect, there's some UK guys that are just fucking like, okay, I got to go.
Oh, please. I feel that about Canada. I'm really like, fuck Canada these days.
I will say a little bit of there's some fucking no personality from Canadians too. But I know, but there's a lot of Canadian homies I do love. So Canada, don't be mad at me if you hear this, please.
No, let them be mad at me. Fuck them. Like Mark, Billy, couple of girls.
I love Billy, bro.
Fucking that's all. Otherwise, fuck them. Fuck those Canadian fucks. And I like a lot of the English people. I like a lot of the UK people. I definitely like a lot of the Germans. of course, that clip is probably going to be pulled out and fucking there's going to be Christians and Nazi posts fucking all over the fucking place. So, all right, now MJ, how could people get in touch with you?
Best way, like I'm very active on Instagram just because I do sell a lot of my snakes on Instagram. Not that I have much left. I mean, I probably have like a handful of snakes left on Morph Market, but either way, very active with my Patreon members and whatnot. So Instagram, MJ Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E, is the best way to kind of see what I'm up to, or if you have any questions or concerns. Or you could also follow the Trap Talk with MJ podcast Instagram page as well to stay on top of all the podcast information. And if I could go ahead and plug my other 2 channels one more time, if that's cool.
Yeah.
I am also coming out with 2 vlogs every week, Wednesday and Saturdays, which is just basically either daily content of what I have going on here. Like I was talking about earlier, I have a lot of different species of snakes and there's always something going on. So I figured I could go ahead and share some stuff, what's going on here. And then also when I go do my remote podcasts, is I do my facility tours. And so anyways, all that vlog information was going to be put out on my YouTube channel called the Snake Trap Sessions Vlogs. So if you go to YouTube and type in the Snake Trap Sessions Vlogs, subscribe to that. And then also subscribe to the Trap Talk podcast clips on YouTube. You could stay on top of every single clip I've had with every amazing past guest, like Chris and whatnot. You stay on top of it. But I appreciate all the love and support. If you guys go hit that up, thank you.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put all the links in the description.
Thank you, man. Much love.
And on all the previews, dude. Thank you so much, man. I mean, we're at about 2 hours now, and I may cut it a little bit, but
it's all good.
I'm not going to cut out the fun parts. I'm tell you that. So.
No, this has been great, Chris. As I knew, just because based off our first conversation, I already knew this was going to be heat. And yeah, man, 2 hours felt like 15 minutes. I appreciate you so much, and this has been a great time and an honor. Like I said, I know a lot of people how much they want to come on this show because I hear it, I see it. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, brother. I fucking love you to death, and hopefully, I'll meet you at Arlington this year. So
yeah, so September, huh?
September, yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to go to Tinley because Tinley is just it's just too much, right?
It's a lot.
It's just more assholes that think that they're changing the industry and they're going to be gone in a year, whereas Arlington is about the limit, my threshold that I could take. So, but at Tinley, there's up to half more, and I just can't take it. So
you're going to Bill's pre-party at his house.
Yeah, I already talked to Bill about it. Yep. So
I think I'm gonna DJ it.
Oh, cool. All right. But Bill is such a fucking great guy, man.
Love that guy, bro. That's big, bro. That's big, bro, right there. Like, if you want to talk about people, in the beginning of the podcast about people that bring you or like the positive side of meeting people, Bill is just somebody who has inspired me on so many different levels. And when I go to Texas, all I could think about is visiting Bill and seeing his wife, his family, his daughter Courtney, like just an amazing group of people, man. And I just love Texans altogether. My heart is in Texas. I've always said this. I fuck with Texans so tough, man. I just don't fuck with their Tex-Mex at all.
Dude, they fucking. I love. I mean, Texas is my second home. Like, I'm not part of the Northeast fucking shady breeder clique or the clique down in Georgia and Florida or California. I'm Texas clique. Texas mafia through and through, man.
Me too. If I had to pick, I would be with the Texas crew on that, and we would bang together for sure.
Yeah, because they're just such great fucking people. And that's definitely the retirement plan, is to get down to Texas. So, dude, thank you so much, man. I had a great time, man.
Thanks, Chris.
I appreciate the fuck out of you, and I will definitely. I'll talk to you in a couple of days, and you'll know when this is coming out.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing what you have to bring to the table for the rest of the year. And I will say, keep the heat going yourself, man. Thank you for inspiring a lot of us.
No, you got it, brother. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Have a good one. Later.
Bye.
Here at
at Snakes and the Fat Man, we're huge supporters of diversity. We're proving that point here by having our first ever boa breeder as a sponsor on the show. Boa Affliction has been around since 2010, and when they saw the VPI T-positive gene, they immediately shifted their focus and decided to make not just visually stunning albino boas, but they quickly realized that the T-positive snows and sunglows really stood apart from the T-negative albinos that were available at the time. This original VPI gene has maintained its place in the market for the last 10 years and shows no sign of slowing down. Here's the thing. When you invest into your 401k, a 401k for all you ball python people is a fund that you invest in for your retirement. But when you invest in a 401k, you just don't invest in Walmart. You invest in Amazon, Verizon, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. That's all we're trying to say here. 100% of your collection doesn't have to be ball pythons. Throw a few boas in there and be part of a different type of cool crowd. And when you do that, invest with Kenny over at Boa Affliction. Great, no bullshit guy with an awesome website. And how in the fuck am I gonna say no to a guy who uses this chick in his promo picture? Can't do it. Can't do it. I tried everything. Go check out Kenny today at boaffliction.com. Sticking with my supporting of diversity, I actually hired a millennial to handle all of my social media, but I had to fire him because he didn't show up for work. So I'm just going to leave this picture up here for a little while longer. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around for this one. This one meant a lot to me. It was episode 75 and kind of a big milestone for us. It's a big number to hit, but remember, for the first couple of years, we were only doing this once a month. Once every 2 months, actually. So it's nice to hit 75. We drop new podcasts on the 1st and the 15th of every month, and we do the open Zoom calls every 2 weeks, and we've just been killing it on that. We've been getting a ton of new people, and we're really having a great time doing it. And if you don't show up, you're gonna miss whatever happened because we don't record it, we don't release it anymore. So you gotta show up to do it. So the next one is gonna be on April 24th. And, I hope to see you guys there. Now, if you're in a position to help the channel out, join Patreon, all right? Patreon.com/snakesandthefatman, like all these other people over here. Or it might be over there, but it might be over here too. I don't know. Patreon.com/snakesandthefatman. We do behind the scenes stuff. You get exclusive stuff. We got 2 exclusive video series there called Shitting On and It Doesn't Matter. And it's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun with the Patreon family. So also, you see all these people here or there, go support them because they support me. And you got to support the people that support you, man. So again, thanks for sticking around for this whole fucking thing. I appreciate it. And that's really it. We'll see you either at the Zoom call or on the 1st of the month. Take it easy, guys. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.